Harness the
You
power of
got the
logic, use analytical tools to extrapolate ideas to achieve a metacognitive understanding. I am Enos. I'm here to serve you with humility and dedication. We're all about using logic out there, y'all. Shout out to my folks using analytical tools to explore ideas, to get a deeper understanding around us. This is what this platform is designed for. Um, so just join us. I ask y'all just to join us and let's expand our minds together. This is a lifelong process, lifelong learning. And this is for those who desire continuous learning and who desire intellectual growth, y'all. So yeah, give it up for yourself oops, who decided to tune in and follow us. Got my bros with me, man. Again, I'm Enos. Can y'all go ahead and introduce yourself?
How's everybody doing? I'm Vulcan, aka Logos. Excited for the show today. We're going to cover different topics. So feel free to chime in, put your comments, any questions you have, share it with your friends and family. Let us know if you want to be a guest. Inbox if you want to be a guest on the show and you got some kind of topic you really want to cover. So I'm excited, y'all. Let's do it.
Listen, tonight I'm in the car. I'm still a one bar for bar. I never worry about them taking shots because I'm already a star, man. It's Freshly Snipes. You guys know who it is, man. I'm just, as always, I'm here to get my shots up. Let's get to it.
Swish.
Hey man, I'm just your humble servant, man. It's Saint Broseph in the building, man. Oh no.
You already.
We'll touch on something before we get to the topic, fellas. In the past, I like to, give our audience or our folks or Vulcans what our plans are on the show and what motivates us or why we're doing this show. I said in the past that we have a high tolerance for dissenting views. I want to expound on that just a little bit. The reason we promote that is because especially on polarizing issues, we got this high tolerance for dissenting views on polarizing issues. This is essential for fostering and understanding. It's essential for understanding us each other. So I just want to make that clear and actually expound on that a little bit. Like I said in the beginning on other shows, logic is about the quality. It's not about the quality interference. It's more about the truth and falsity or the premise. So yeah. So let's get right into it, man. We can't. We'll have to get into it. This has been trending, social media, especially with. I'm gonna say this. I guess our culture, Black culture. A few days ago, Cam Newton. Let me pull up the graphics. Matter of fact, I'm just going to a video. He can.
Cam Newton was out there showing them boys what time it was. So hey,
That
listen,
grown man strength.
yeah, I got man. I still get down with it.
Okay.
Hey, listen, no matter what the problem was or who started it was 3-on-1 and they all got drugged. They need to be ashamed of themselves. Hide your face.
All right. Wait a minute.
Cam Newton, this is a bad look. Rookie of the year, made it to a Super Bowl, NFL MVP. That stuff is hard to do. Got rich, that's dope. We already know what the culture's hitting for. You already know, so ain't no reason to address the problem. For that to happen, and I always see those kind of optics when it comes to Cam dealing with the public. Is it possible that Cam Newton is carrying around a certain energy? Is it possible that people don't look at Cam as a elite quarterback, a talent, and they look at him as a rapper? That's rapper outcomes. That's not going to happen to Peyton Manning. That's not going to happen to Tom Brady. And it's not because those people are white. I think it's the energy that Cam carries around and where he chooses to place himself, and he puts himself on a lower level. So that's the outcome that he gets, and it's Cam.
All right. So,
Stop
real
the cap
real disagree.
with the fact that wouldn't have happened to another elite quarterback if they were white.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thoughts? Disagree with what he's saying? Whatever direction you want to go.
Let me start this out real quick. Um, I don't think it has much to do. Well, I think it does, and it doesn't have to do with the energy Cam Newton carries around. When I say that, I don't think Cam Newton's energy is inviting that type of action from just anybody, but it is inviting that type of action from us. Historically, culturally, we are haters. Now, obviously, I'm putting that out there colloquially, right? Not everyone is a hater, but if I could be blunt with y'all for a second, right? If I could, what I'm saying, if I could slide out of my my good diction and whatnot, niggas don't like to see other niggas shine, especially in front of women. That's
Hey,
they and listen, I hate to put it like that, but every person in here, every man in here, every female in here that's ever been doing something, whether it just be like you might have had a nice pair of shoes on that day, you might have got a fresh cut. This is our culture where whether we mean it or not, maliciously, we gonna throw you a little hate. I was doing it before we went live. I,
sure would.
I clowned on I clowned a little bit on every man on this panel.
That's funny. Hey,
And
but oh, go ahead. My bad.
you good.
No, I was gonna say I add to that. It's like my boy, what my boy Boosie said, man. When you got your funds up, it hit different when you talk that talk. Like you on the football field, so you might be like, "Oh, y'all boys trash, y'all chumps, y'all." He could have been saying just regular stuff or my team better or whatever. It hit different when you got a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? They don't like that, or we don't like that. So that could have been part of it too.
And I also think that's part of our culture. So I want to say this. I'm gonna let the other guys get in. Um, I think if you're gonna use a white quarterback, you don't use a Peyton Manning or an Eli Manning because white or not, that like I wouldn't expect Russell Wilson to get into this type of energy either. So I don't think it has
Mm,
to do with a white or black. I do think no, I don't think it has to do with white or black. I think it has to do with the type of person. I guess so. I guess that does kind of default to energy, if you will. I don't know. I just know that in that culture, I don't really see Caucasian folks hating on their heroes or anything like that. They don't really measure themselves up to a Peyton Manning. At least not outside. At least not in public. They might get in their living rooms and say Peyton Manning is trash, but they're not gonna go to one of his tournaments and do all that extra stuff.
All right, Booker, what you got for us?
You can go ahead and go. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start by saying this because I really don't know what he mean by the energy. If we have to, I guess what he means because it's hard to really
I
function.
agree with that.
So
I would like to put in that place how he carries himself.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's exactly what he meant, but for the sake of conversation, for the sake of this debate, I would like to input how Cam Newton carries himself.
So
Uh,
when you say carry yourself, you want to expound on that?
just a little. I mean, Cam Newton is a boisterous, braggadocious, um,
Mm-hmm.
confident, and I'm not gonna say prideful. I'm gonna say confident, uh, tall black man, right? And he carries himself as such. He carries himself like a man who knows what he is, what he got going on. I think he may not have it in him to be humble in places he don't think he needs to be humble in. And I don't say in that particular environment, I don't say that he might need, I don't think he I don't know if I agree that he should be humble, but he does carry himself uh outwardly confident, if you will. It's not quiet confidence for sure.
I like to go ahead and like to give him some flowers. Let's go ahead and give him some praise. I think that one of my favorite quotes is if you want to see a true measure of a man, watch how he treats his inferiors versus his equals.
Mhm.
This is a big guy. You could tell he was actually restraining himself, and I want to. Not a lot of times we actually give props to people that display. And like I said, on this platform, we try not to judge a person's intentions, more judge the actions. And watching a 6'5", 6'6", whatever, 250 pounds, wrestling with the youth, he could have easily knocked these guys' heads off, but he was showing a level of restraint that we don't give a lot of praise to in our community. So I want to, shout Cam Newton out for that, man. That's one of the
Oh,
things I noted.
I'm not gonna shout him out until I know he was restraining himself.
I ain't gonna lie. One of them dudes was grown. One of them dudes was a grown man.
He was wrestling with the youth. I thought all three of them was grown.
I know for sure one of them was grown because he responded back. He was
Yeah, we saw him. That man, that was a full grown man who was
yeah,
getting tossed around, who was getting ragdolled.
yeah. He was the one. You know what I'm saying?
He was the one that was
Crazy.
saying hi to face. He came out in public. He'll
Well,
never get girls like this.
Bro, he's Cam, made it to the NFL. He's still
That'll
definitely
get him.
a grown man. I didn't see him or hit anybody in their face. I just seen him grabbing people. So, that's yeah,
Is there
kudos.
any, is there anything to the rumor or the idea that he was actually trying to break up a fight, and that's how he got involved? I heard that. I don't know if it's substantiated or not.
I kind of looked online. I talked to Enos the other day, and I looked online and tried to find just different scenarios and how it happened or whatever, any narratives, and I it was all speculation, man. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't see what would lead. Uh, I guess motivate these guys to do that at this event. The only thing I can think of, maybe he put his hands on them. Maybe he put his hands on. It's not a
Hey,
lot of. Go ahead. Somebody say.
yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna be honest. I don't think this was a youth event. I think this was an adult 7-on-7.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I can say is as a person who's refereed football for 10+ years, uh, when you do adult leagues, or to be honest with you, anytime you do something like 15U and up, the smack talk, the extracurricular activities, stuff after the whistle, it starts to get crazy. If you don't control that stuff, and I mean like with as a referee with the whistles, if you don't get the coaches involved, and to be honest with you, a lot of times it ends up being the coaches. That stuff almost always gets out of hand. Like it's almost guaranteed to happen if you don't address it in a serious way before the game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what I seen. I read something earlier that they actually said that Cam Newton was taunting some of these guys while they was on the field. I didn't get a chance to finish the article, but yeah. So yeah, so
So let
anything.
me real quick. Let me pose this question: If Cam Newton can Cam Newton not play the game the way he plays because of who he is?
not in
Is
the black community.
is he excluded from talking smack on a football field in the confines of the football game because he's Cam Newton? Does that exclude him from that? In y'all's opinion?
Yes and no. I mean, like, I don't care who talk junk, man. It's the game, man. But at the end of the day, like, but I just think the way we are sometimes, like I said, man, it sometimes the shit talk, excuse my language, is different when somebody pockets when it's an MVP NFL player, so to some
If he
people.
if he was talking money talk, then I agree with that because I don't
Right.
inside the confines of the field, right?
Right.
Inside the confines of the game, it's mano y mano. We out here playing football. You bring anything else outside into it, maybe I feel a way
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, but say if he call you trash though, and like it's a dude that used to play in the NFL call you trash, that hits a little different. that might bruise some people's egos.
Listen, if you can't take that, don't come out there because I'm gonna call you trash regardless.
Yeah, I feel you.
Kobe Bryant was doing that with his teammates and stuff. Now those are grown men getting paid for it, but
Michael Jordan was calling people like superstars hoes on the court. Michael Jordan was talking like a big dog.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I didn't really get a chance to see the video that the guy's referring to. Could Cam's energy be causing him to get more hate than a white quarterback? I think it's possible. I mean, I watched him on his interviews and stuff like that. His beef with forgot the other guy. They had a show. He had another podcast, popular podcast with football players. I know there was some type of beef there with those guys.
Oh, you talking about Club Shay Shay?
No, not with Club Shay Shay, but with the other one, the light guy with the braids.
Pivot podcast.
Ryan Clark.
Yeah, that's Pivot. Cam Newton don't have beef with them.
No, there's a guy who was on that. I thought it was the guy who was Brandon something or whatever, the guy with the funny hair.
Not Jennings.
Maybe he had a beef with Ryan Clark. Maybe that's Ryan Clark had a beef with them.
Brandon Marshall. Nah, they had a show together. Remember, they started out those guys you're talking about. They started out together, and they split. So they have a beef in between them.
Yeah, so maybe it's not that beef, but I know this is how I saw him interacting with Charleston White that time. There was like almost like a certain arrogance. Like it was almost kind of like with Sway with Kanye West when Sway was trying to give advice to Kanye West, and Kanye West is like, "You haven't done education. You don't know what I'm talking about." Like, and Sway thought he might kind of know when he really didn't. I think in the same way, Cam was trying to give Charleston White advice, and towards the end of the interview, realized he's like, "Hey, could you help me?" He's trying to ask Charleston White for help now, and it's like you should have came in that position in the beginning. You gave this guy all this pushback, trying to give him advice on things that you knew nothing about. Every time you tried to do it, Charleston White was crumping his points with better, more well-researched, more thoughtful points. Not even just more well-researched, but more thoughtful on top of that. I think Cam has a little bit of a bravado about him that would provoke somebody.
You know what?
But that bravado is useful in other things. Women like that bravado, so you get more women with that bravado. You do sell, I would say, almost lower-minded people with that because they'll look at how you move and carry yourself and just assume you must know what you're talking about.
Confidence.
So that bravado, the mannerisms that are associated with that, even the way you articulate yourself. I see how Cam moves, and he does kind of move in that I'm bigger than everybody, I'm better than everybody kind of way. I'm not saying he thinks that way per se, but that can provoke people.
Because regardless of whether or not you believe in this particular colloquialism, perception is everything. Perception means a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now I'm not saying that anyone should change the way that they carry themselves or the way that they handle themselves because of other people's perception. But what I've learned in my past experiences, as long as you're willing to deal with what comes with how other people perceive you, then you should be all right. If you get tired of dealing with it with certain types of reactions, you might need to look into adjusting.
All right, so let's digress, fellas. Get into
Who picked that one?
I thought you did.
Nah.
He said, I would never.
I would have been at the
comedy
this
store.
one right here, though.
I'm at the comedy store.
Let's
And
get
these
into this.
rappers were there. And I just want to say, rappers suck. God, I hate them. If everywhere I went, I just acted like I was so much cooler than everyone else, and I was so much tougher than everyone else. And if you try to be silly with me, I go, man, you're a corny motherfucker, man. Don't be corny with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And all I talked about was how much money I had and bitches and like how I fuck a lot and how I have tons of money and I never want to be playful and I never want to be silly and I just have a shitty attitude and I talk trash and I'm like think that I'm above all the rules. You would hate me. Everyone would go, oh, we hate Jeff Dye. He's a jerk. He's always bragging about how much money he has and how much pussy he gets, and he's mean to everyone, and he never smiles, and he's never playful, and he doesn't remember my name. And it's like rappers, the culture of a rapper is trash. The slow walk and the whole thing. It's just like I don't get why anyone would think a rapper is cool. And I'm at the comedy store, and these rappers.
Real quick, let me
hurt
address
you?
this comment. A rapper. Pam, I'm in the car today. It's different, but I'm in the car. I don't have great lighting, and I'm a Nubian skinned young man.
Vulcan, you're muted.
You're muted. Vulcan, you're muted. Vulcan, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I had bars too. It's not gonna probably be any good. It's not gonna be funny now. But I was like, you said great lightning. What do you mean, the DeLorean and Back to the Future? It's not gonna be as funny now because my timing's all off. But
Yeah, you said it anyway, though, huh?
yeah.
That was right on time.
But
Yeah, for sure. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so going back, so what y'all think about that one? I mean, you want me to go first, or who wants to tackle that first?
Yeah, somebody has to score on demand.
Well, yeah. So for me, I mean, I like that video a lot because what he's saying, and he's a comedian saying this, and another comedian echoed this a very similar perspective. It was Aries Spears when he was talking about this. He says only rappers have a license to just self-grandize and be haughty and pompous and egotistical and ostentatious and all these things. Only rappers can do that kind of a thing. If anybody else in regular life talked about that kind of stuff, you would just be hated. Read the 48 Laws of Power book. Law 46 talks about it. Perfection is reserved for the dead and for gods. So somebody talking about I'm the greatest at this, I'm the best at that. You can't touch me, you can't see me. That brings up envy and strife and hate. And rappers still deal with that stuff. Rappers get killed all the time for people envying them and strife. We just got done talking about something very similar. But the reality is that it's very true. There's something about this fraternity of musicians, specifically rappers, because I think really only rappers can do this, that they're almost unaffected by the normal social rules of how we would judge somebody as far as like their integrity and their character and things of that nature. Like Jay-Z's a prime example. People love Jay-Z. And every single Jay-Z song is about how amazing he is. He literally calls himself Jehovah.
Let me take the opposite of this. No matter how much I agree.
How did I know you're gonna do that?
Because you know me. What people don't understand is, and I don't understand why this is a problem. One, this is what the culture is built on, right? This is what the original culture is built on. The MC gets on the mic. He's rapping over the DJ's beats because obviously the DJ started as the star of the show. He's telling y'all how good he and the DJ are. That's the culture, right? I don't know why people can't look at rappers like wrestlers.
There we go.
Wrestlers get on TV, they talk all sorts of trash. You got your heels and you got your
Let me tell you why you can't look at rappers as wrestlers. Because when that wrestler is not wrestling, he speaks like this. And I think I'm going to go get me a nice croissant from... That's how he speaks when he's not wrestling.
You didn't change your voice at all.
Right.
That is hilarious.
They're the best actors, though. They don't break character. That doesn't mean it's not a character.
No, they're not the best actors. They want you to really believe this stuff. Like on their Twitter, they stay in character. They stay in character.
I said they never break character. That's what I said.
Oh, well.
Tupac sitting on cameras. DMX saying, I'll pop a nigga for him. These guys aren't playing a character. They really believe they're that person.
But hold on. When you're talking about certain guys, right? And if you, again, this is the culture. Think about where most of our rappers come from. They come from that culture. They come from the street culture.
Yeah.
No, we don't know that.
I said a good, like most of them, a good amount of them. You talk about DMX. DMX is valid in the streets of New York.
DMX, we would consider him valid.
Jay-Z is validated in the streets of New York. Like these
Jay-Z
guys
have a really good mother, who took really good care of him. He chose to go that route because he wanted girls. That's why he did it.
Again,
He
I'm not
says it.
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying this is the culture. This is like rappers talking about comedians. Like, man, every time I get around this comedian dude, he always trying to crack jokes and be funny. Like, that's what they do. Why are you upset at that? Like, I can't believe, like, I'm from the streets, so like we don't really deal with type stuff like that. I get in the public, this dude trying to be all buddy, like be a man. Like, if we heard the opposite of that, we would be like, man, why this guy being so tough all the time?
Hey, you know what I actually
What,
thought about
what comedians
doing?
do?
I actually thought about start doing self-deprecating rap to just try to like change the the flow, change the in the ocean there's like a current, change the current, when it comes to that kind of stuff, self-deprecating rap.
It's called compliment battles in battle rap. They do it on YouTube.
No, that's battle. I'm talking about mainstream. I'm talking about like battle. I'm talking about like mainstream stuff.
You would never make it in mainstream rap that way because that's not the culture. We don't want to hear you self-deprecate yourself. We want to hear you pop your shit. Excuse my language. And again, this is a consumer relationship.
But can we still hold them accountable? Can we still talk about it? If
we
talking
talking about it right now. But this guy is saying, the comedian is saying he doesn't understand.
Let me ask you this, Freshly. If there was if a rapper was rapping about sex trafficking, right?
Oh my god.
Could we just say he's just in character? He's not really living that life, or could we be like, hey, come on, man, like that's too far?
Okay, yes, we could, but here's the thing: the criticism would be coming from the consumer. So we as consumers, we don't condone that. That's why we would criticize that. It's a consumer relationship. As consumers, what they rap about, part of the reason they rap about it is because we consume it at a crazy pace. It reflects
most popular
exactly people who look at those rappers and they see themselves, and people who never even knew about that, they look at it as storytelling. So when you're a comedian, you're asking stuff like, why do they? It's like asking why you as a comedian do what you do. It's your job. This is the culture you come from. This is your skill set, your art.
The guy said that even outside of the music, they could be out somewhere, and it's like, man, why are you laughing? I mean, Kevin Hart, I think has a stand-up where he says, man, I'll kill you. You funny, you always try to be funny, I'll kill you. Like, it was one of those, you remember that Kevin Hart stand-up when he's talking about that? Like,
he said, why you so tough all the time?
Huh? Yeah, you gangbanging on breakfast?
But okay, again, you would have to say, because there's plenty of rappers.
Hello, Fresh. Just want to say, comment for Nick Dozier, what y'all discussed tonight. He said, Snipes is right about that. Right about what? Type it in the chat. Go ahead, Fresh, finish.
I'm saying what you have to consider where certain people come from. Like, and I'm not saying it's not an act. I'm saying if you're a street dude, this is what street dudes do. When street dudes get money, whether they rap or not, here's the thing: when street dudes get money, whether they rap or not, they do this. It's not a rapper thing; it's a culture thing. Rappers come from this culture; they are a reflection.
That's not true, because we all know suburban rappers that act like the guy. You wouldn't be able to tell; they're indistinguishable.
But I said it's a reflection of the culture. They don't all have to come from the culture. But listen.
Now, Freshly, you know what city I'm from. I remember there was a guy used to pick up to play basketball, and he would put on there North Click. Now, you know what, in the city we're from, North is not getting no kind of street credibility.
I mean, they keep trying.
Yeah, but he would have on his shirt North Click. North Side Click. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what?
Tragic.
Yeah, it's tragic. And so my whole point in saying this right here is that, like, even a suburban kid knew that he had to have a certain bravado. And he carried that when he wasn't rapping, when he was on the court, everywhere, because that's the way that you get respected within the black community as a black man.
Okay, so we're talking about why rappers do that. You just proved my point. Rappers do that because this is how you get respect from the consumer community. We don't respect you if you don't do that. We don't consume your product, your art, if you don't reflect what we like.
All right,
So
Nick.
to the question, the comedian is asking, why would anybody like that? There's a whole culture, subculture that consumes that music from people that look like me to people that look like him. It's clear somebody hurt him. He don't either that or he don't understand consumer relationships.
Well, let's go ahead. We got some comments here.
That's a good point, Nick.
The consumers we
fact.
did take criticism. We comment
Nick.
because we relate to it. Rappers have bravado because it's a competitive sport unlike any other genre. Now that part is definitely true. It is the most competitive genre.
Man, you finna stop acting like you the only one getting money around here, man. We get more money than you. Man, I got a G for every bump on your face, man. This is the culture that we come from. Those dudes ain't even rappers.
But the thing is that I mean, and we got this. We're going off, and I don't know if you want to play the video again or not. But so people that are just tuning in can watch it. But in this video, the guy's not just talking about within the context of the music. Even when these guys are like off, they're clocked out from their job. They're still doing it.
Let's play it again.
Right. So let me one more thing. Vulcan,
hold on.
is it not career suicide to break character as a rapper? Do we not celebrate quote unquote realness? If DMX raps like that on wax, and then he's a nice guy outside of that, his career.
But we actually know
shout out to Jeffrey, man.
Yeah, we actually know that DMX actually was like that outside of the music, though. We actually
we didn't know he was
and again, he was a very troubled individual.
Drake is one of the biggest. I say Drake is probably the biggest rapper in the world, not just the country, in the world. And that dude was Wheelchair Jimmy.
All right, hold on.
He's still talking about what
coming in from Nick has said, but Vulcan, you also got to remember most folks don't like their lives. That's why they want to hear that fairy tale instead of honesty.
That I definitely agree with.
Again, it's a consumer relationship.
Let's listen to this guy though, because just so everybody can be on the same page what we're talking about here.
He hurt somebody. A rapper took his girl. I'm almost certain of it.
Man, hey man, that boy is definitely hurt.
And these rappers were there, and I just want to say, rappers suck. God, I hate them. If everywhere I went, I just acted like I was so much cooler than everyone else, and I was so much tougher than everyone else. And if you try to be silly with me, I go, man, you're a corny motherfucker, man. Don't be corny with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And all I talked about was how much money I had and bitches and like how I fuck a lot and how I have tons of money. And I never want to be playful and I never want to be silly. And I just have a shitty attitude and I talk trash and I'm like, think that I'm above all the rules. You would hate me. Everyone would go, oh, we hate Jeff Dye. He's a jerk. He's always bragging about how much money he has and how much pussy he gets. And he's mean to everyone. And he never smiles and he's never playful and he doesn't remember my name. And it's like rappers, the culture of a rapper is trash. The slow walk and the whole thing. It's just like, I don't get why anyone would think a rapper is cool. Tonight I'm at the Comedy Store.
Hey,
okay.
We got to address his points now. We got to address his actual points now. They've heard it twice. Why is a rapper? I can't see why anybody would consider a rapper cool. He also said they were at a show. So mind you, he's not talking about the music. He's talking about at a show. They're acting like this at a show. Sorry, go ahead, y'all. Go ahead.
Here's my point, though. These are possibly, I'm just going to say possibly, these are possibly street dudes. These are possibly dudes from a culture that feeds, that preys on weakness. If you play too much, if you joke around, if you smile, this is a legitimate culture that we come from, that some of us come from. This is not like something that people created for rap. This is a legitimate culture. In certain places, if you show your teeth, you fool. If you laugh too much, if you joke, you're fool. Either that or you have to constantly prove that I laugh, right? Ha ha ha, I do this joke and stuff, but I'm still a killer out here. You have to prove that. As a coat of armor in the streets, you got to maintain a certain, I won't say gotta, but they feel that you have to maintain a certain demeanor so you don't get tried. So and to be honest with you,
Stop it. That I mean,
I
come
like that. I like
on,
that
that's
comment Nick said right there, man. Pull that
that's a
up, man.
we're gonna read these comments here real quick, but I want to say that's a small part of the picture. I mean, it's not just they keep the bravado going because they don't want to get dropped. You get women off of this stuff. You get endorsement deals to destroy your community off of this stuff. We got to give the full picture here. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but we gotta wait. We gotta wait these things. We gotta wait these things. How much of it is I don't want to
you're
get
getting
killed? And
criticism
you
on
live
the
in.
culture.
No, hold on, real quick, freshly. You're saying if I drop it, they'll get me. These guys live in suburban areas that are predominantly white. Ain't nobody dropping these guys.
They live in those areas. They still travel.
How many
Yeah,
how
they
many how
travel to
many
England and
country
Europe
artists done
and
died in the last
Zimbabwe.
5 years,
Bro,
Vulcan?
FB, whatever the FB is, FBJ, FB. I don't know his name, but the Chicago rapper,
These
FBK
names are
Duck,
good ones.
he got killed in the ritziest Chicago. They pulled up on him. They shot him a bunch of times. He was around all types of well-to-do white people. He wasn't in the hood. He
No,
didn't
when
even
he
live
went,
there anymore. He was out shopping in a place that that's. But my point is, I'm not. If we're gonna criticize the culture, then let's criticize the culture. But he's saying he
they're
doesn't
not doing the
understand
Talib
why. The
Kweli. They're
question is
Talib
why
Kweli.
Hold on, first. You said what, Vulcan?
They're not doing that to Talib
he said they're
Kweli. So
not
I can
doing
still make the
it.
point. Yeah. So freshly brings up a good point. Sorry, go ahead, Anos.
Or Kendrick Lamar, you don't hear about this stuff. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
again, because they're not walking around with that bravado all the time. Talib Kweli's a regular human being. Most deaths a regular human being.
Okay,
If you walk
again, but
around with a gangster all the
what is
time,
he
you
rapping?
can't laugh and be if you gang banging on breakfast, then yeah, boys gonna want to come see you because that bravado is too much.
Okay, is Talib Kweli? Talib Kweli has a subsect of of fans. Talib Kweli is not a massively successful rapper, and I love Talib. I love Black Star.
It don't sound
I
like it right now.
but my point is what you okay. So there's a culture. There's other pieces of the culture. When you identify yourself with this culture, you have to keep a certain level. You have to keep a certain demeanor. But that's with anything.
Message. No,
That's
no.
anything anywhere. Now I'm not arguing or debating the detrimental effects that the culture has. I'm saying if you're asking why a rapper would carry himself like that, if he's a street rapper, if he's a gangster rapper, it's necessary. Even for his craft. Like even for his job. Like that's basically his job at this point. If you're a rapper and you rap about certain things and the public consumes that, they like that. Listen, we like when you talk that ish. When you rap about that type of stuff, we like that. We're gonna consume that. We're gonna give you our money. Okay, this is now a job. This is lucrative to me.
We got
If I
comments.
drop this act, if I hold on real quick, if I drop this act, I'm food out here. I'm no longer considered real.
All right,
Stop it. Food out here. Stop. Cut the malarkey. But go ahead. Read the comments.
This man said Malarkey. All right, Nick sorry Dozier said Duck got killed because it's FBG. Yeah, he got because he
Well, hold
made
on.
a.
I think it's one before that.
Yeah.
Or I think we got started the first one up top.
Right.
He's only referring to.
Oh,
I hear the guy that video has never heard of Don Trip, Star Lidl. Yeah, who's you referring to, Nick? Might need to bring Nick on. And LaRussell. Yeah, shout out to LaRussell. I like some of this stuff.
He said
yeah,
he said it at the top. He said he's only referring to gangster rap. We got playful artists as well.
Doug got killed because he's mad. He made a song dissing all the dead in Chicago. They were going to catch him anyway.
Hey, Enos looked like he was.
Hey, that song hard too. I ain't gonna cap. It's just it's unfortunate.
Enos, you look like you.
Elton Bear said facts. Freshly, there are rappers in the multi-dimensional J. Cole, Propane. Okay, so he's just going on this other rappers out here that's not on that hit.
This man. Move closer to the router.
Y'all played. Okay. And that's what
Hey, I'm gonna keep it real though. Like, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you though, Freshly. Like you said, man, like one of the rappers must have called his girl to the back or something at a show. Cause I mean, I'm not taking no rapper serious for the simple fact, like what Nori said, you just got the worst loan of your life. Why would I even take you serious? Like those deals is crazy, man. Like I don't understand, man. Most of them dudes is really
Do you
in debt.
say
They're lying. They're
because they
lying.
make
Most
bad
of them are
financial
lying
decisions?
He
because
said
they're
that.
lying. You
No, I'm
said
saying Fresh. He
money,
said
huh?
fresh. I mean, fresh. He'll say he said the culture is trash. That's what he said. Even though they took the bad deals, their persona, the way they carry themselves is trash. You don't see why people look up to them, although they got the
Yeah,
what?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't like. I'm like, because what I'm saying is, I understand that you probably really don't have the money because you took a bad loan. I
Listen,
understand that you. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. It's like I don't understand. Like I guess kids are impressionable, but I've never thought that those guys was really like that.
All is extreme, but I see.
I knew you don't look up to him.
no,
Saying,
but
bro,
listen, this
hold on,
this
fresh.
comedian is being hypocritical.
I just want to say this piece. But do you agree? It's questioning why people look up to these rappers. That's the question for the panel. He doesn't
I'm gonna tell you
understand.
right now.
He don't understand why people look up to the panel.
We
I'm
say
gonna tell you right now.
cool. He said think they're cool technically, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
understand why we think that they are cool.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I never thought they were cool. Yeah, I never thought these guys were cool.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Just like a comedian who finds his niche of people who can relate to his comedy.
There
Not
you
everyone
go.
thinks every comedian is fun. There is a niche of people, there is a subculture of people who relate to that rapper. Even if he didn't do it, he is telling someone else's story. So if I would agree with the comedian wholeheartedly if there was no such thing as like street culture, or if that didn't exist and people were just making that stuff up. But there's people who actually live the life, right or wrong, right? I'm not grandizing the actual culture or the life. I'm saying in real life today in America, there's somebody who listens to that and that is their story. That's what they relate. That's their representation in music. So I like gangster rap because I'm doing gangster stuff out here in the streets, or I like gangster rap because I really wish I was doing gangster stuff. I like that comedian
Yeah, but
because
we got to keep it real, y'all. We got to keep it real. You know, what percentage of the population is actually doing gangster stuff? So again, when the way you're phrasing it freshly, even though it's true, I think it's a little bit misleading to people who are not as thoughtful, because it makes it seem like you got this 50-50 thing happening. You didn't say it that way. You just mentioned two different sides. But in reality, people that are doing gangster activity in any society in the world, known in human history, throughout the country, throughout the world, is what,
right,
5% maybe?
Yes.
You know, if that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got this 5% who actually listen to music and go, wow, that's what I'm doing. And then you got 95% of people going like, that just sounds really cool.
no, but that's
Let's keep it
my
real.
point. Though. It's a consumer relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. Y'all are acting as if there's no reason for them to be doing that. Like there's no real. I don't understand why you would act like this all the time.
We're not
Because that's
discussing what is a reason for rappers to be acting gangster. The comedian guy is saying they showed up to his show and they didn't want to laugh at jokes. You couldn't be
that's not what he
cool.
said. That's not what
You
he said.
couldn't be human with them because they had to be cool at all times. When a comedian gets off the stage, the comedian he's out of character now. He can be who he wants to be. Rappers get off
That's
the
not true.
stage and they still go ahead.
That's not true, because most comedians actually always say that people like, hey, say something funny. Like they want you to, they still want them to be that
That's what I'm
person
saying. You
off the
saying what I'm saying?
stage.
Once they get off the stage, they're not actually, they're introverted. They don't want to talk.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying once the comedian or the actor in every other arena of life, the person who's playing a role, when they get off the stage, they go back to being human again, except for the gangster rapper.
Again, it's because the culture that gangster rapper is catering
Plies.
to, huh?
What did Jamie Foxx say about Plies? Remember that?
That's crazy. Yeah, he hid in the bathroom.
Yeah,
man.
come
Crazy.
on, man. But hold on, we read the comments. We read all the comments we got going on.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They have to keep that armor on.
We gonna read the comments or what?
Yeah, Nick. Well, every time I try to read them, it's the whole Nick. says some of them be capping, but in cities like LA, Chicago, or the inner city of Atlanta, or Houston, or Detroit, or any of these cities known for violence, you got to be about that. You got to be about that life because they're gonna try you if you haven't been proven. Another comment says, "I'd be amazed at how these dudes take pictures acting gangster with guns. Dudes with pistols die every day in Birmingham. The youngsters love that persona, though.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Everything that everyone is saying is the question is, I don't know why y'all would look up to them. The question is, why don't
Hold on. Did we finish reading the comments?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Okay.
Unless there's some scroll action I ain't seen. Oh,
We got one more from
that's
Steven.
Steve. That's my guy Stevie. Some rappers are really like that, but some know that their type of rap sells to the consumers that y'all are mentioning. You don't have to be in the streets to have gun bars and stuff. I'm white, and I've had some gun bars in my drunken freestyles.
Yeah.
That's true.
But hey,
let me say this
look,
right
hold
here.
on, one thing.
Let me
You
say-
said, back to Plies though. Do you remember why those guys actually showed up?
Yeah. Talk to yeah.
You remember what Jamie
Tell
Foxx said?
Tell him,
Jamie
Saint Bros.
Foxx said they came up there to see if he was really that. That's all. They didn't want to fight with him. They just wanted to see if he was really that guy because they loved his music. So
This is
what I'm saying
culture.
is, I have to keep it on. I have to keep it on.
But he didn't keep it on.
Yeah, it's his mistake.
His career suffered greatly for it. His
So
career
I'm going
suffered
to say this
greatly
right
for it.
here. This is my point right here. This is my point. I'm gonna give an unfortunately controversial take right here that people aren't gonna like. But is it possible that the reason why we like these rappers staying in character so much is because we're just the most illogical community in the world? Like, we actually really do believe this stuff when everybody else goes, it's just a show, and you can get out of character when it's over. You can get out of character when it's over. But black people, we actually we rather live in that delusion. We rather live in that fantasy, and we rather people die over this fantasy. Could it be this it's indicative of how slow we are as an audience?
It could be. I don't think it is though. I think the culture
We're
is.
the lowest. We're the
It's
lowest
not just in
IQ.
gangster rap.
We're the lowest educated.
We see this in R&B. We see this in some of the actors back in the 70s, like Dolomite. He never stopped his character in public. Some of these
breaking
R&B.
up for everybody, just me.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear fresh.
I was asking if you were breaking up for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we're the lowest IQ community. We're the lowest educated community. We're the most easily influenced community.
You're placing indictment on the community, right? Well, I'm just saying if you're placing indictment on the culture or the community, that's one thing.
Well, he said, I don't see why we think they're so cool. We think they're so cool is because we're dumb enough to believe it. We believe it's actually cool. We believe it's actually good in the world to be like that. And I'm not saying all of us here. A lot of us strive to be like that.
Right.
It's again, we have the lowest IQs and we're the poorest educated.
I will agree with that. So if you think, especially in 2024, if you think street activity is cool, you're an idiot. I'll say that. Come see me about it.
But again, that to me is a little bit dismissive because, I mean, that's saying everybody's an idiot, basically.
Plies was surprised when Plies did that. Is he an idiot? You mean he was surprised he went into the bathroom? He was shocked the way he was talking. He was like, I didn't know he talked like this.
No, I said if you think it's cool. I didn't say if you believe it or not.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get too far away from the point. I know I feel like Vulcan has moved the conversation to another topic, and I'm okay with that. I'm just saying the first topic is he doesn't understand the whys behind, and I'm telling him it's a reflection of a culture that people are either from or they desire to be. So now we're moving the conversation to why is it that people want to be from that culture or are from that culture?
I don't want to take it a step further. Not that what you're saying is not true. I just don't think I think there's a lower layer to it. One thing about the unsophisticated cultures is it's really just self gratification, hedonism, and that's what that kind of rap is. It's just hedonism. It's just self gratification. It's braggadocious, ostentatious. It's the lowest forms, most basic forms of human existence. Sex, gluttony, lust, gluttony, all the worst forms that most religions say you need to control these things and do it in moderation. The hip hop comes and says, I'm a lavish lifestyle. I'm gonna have on what did Pimp C had on a big fur coat in the middle of the beach and big pimping. Not big pimping. Was it big pimping? Yeah, big pimping. It's just. I'm not saying we didn't appreciate the visuals. I'm just saying that could it be just our debased, deplorable culture, and these guys are indicative of that because we are just so animalistic.
In a previous.
We? Who do you mean is we? Like black
That's
folks?
I mean, me and you, St. Broseph, Vulcan and St. Broseph.
Listen. In a previous pod, we talked about how black people are not even the largest group of consumers of hip hop music. There's a whole group of suburban white kids that are really floating hip hop.
Bro, let me tell you.
I do believe, Fresh, we give more attention to it. It cultivates our everyday life.
My booty hole.
Come on, man.
When you say it comes our everyday life, you're talking about because some of a good portion of us live in that area. Whether you're in the streets or not, if you come from the ghetto, if you come from the hood, this is your environment. This is what you see going on around you. This is familiar to you.
Stop.
Whether or not listen, I don't respect that. I don't strive to be that. That doesn't mean that's not where I came from. That doesn't mean I'm not familiar with it.
That doesn't mean where you came from. Like, why are you associating that particular thing with where you came from? I don't get the association.
Because the things that they're talking about, the topics and the subject that they're talking about are familiar to me. They was right outside my door for the majority of
everybody.
Hello, Fresh. Hello, Vulcan.
Reproduction is sorry, go ahead.
More comments. Twan said, I don't agree. Hey, you gotta expound on it. Let us know what you don't agree about, Twan. All right, Ernest Banks says rap and hip hop can be.
And that's YDG over there. YDG, what's up, YDG?
YDG.
That's one right there. That's YDG, man, the OG.
Where you been?
I went to an all-black school.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I know Marcus Garvey.
Hold on.
Now I'm playing with you. My bad.
On the north side.
Ernest Banks says rap and hip hop can be whatever one wants to express. It's an art grounded in the origin of a tough life on the street, but it's not constrained or limited to that. Music is an expression regardless of genre. That's a good point, Ernest. I think to Vulcan's point, he's saying that our music is an expression of debased behavior and culture.
I definitely agree. That's my uncle right there. I definitely agree with what my uncle's saying right there. But the thing is, that's my whole point is saying, what Mozart didn't come from the streets because the streets can't produce Mozart. It can't produce it.
What?
The streets produce my brown. It's the
no. It's almost every street rapper you're talking about was produced from the streets. Talib Kweli was produced by the streets. Kanye produced by the streets. They came from that. This is where they came from.
Now again, this is my issue with what you're saying right there, and I don't want to say too much on this topic, but I'm splitting hairs on the fact that like I'm not saying in a street environment, out of 100 people, you won't have 5 that are going to be Talibs. I'm just saying I don't want to focus on that minority. I want to focus on the majority in the conversation if it's okay.
Yeah, but be intentional about your language. You said the streets can't produce a Mozart. And when in fact the Kanye would be our estimation, Kanye would be our equivalent to a Mozart. Back in the day, we consider him a musical genius.
Talib's a street sympathizer. That's his problem. He's a sympathizer. He was affected by it too. By being a sympathizer. The worst, the most debased behavior and forms of thinking birthed out of fatherlessness. We put this on the grand scale and pedestalize it for the whole world to see and embarrass ourselves.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you. My point is, when you put it on a pedestal, right? The original rappers, whoever the original rappers were whoever the culture sprouted, whatever it is now has nothing to do with the origin. The origin sprouted from people telling stories about where they came from, what they were seeing in their day-to-day lives. So you can't it's hard to act as if the whole culture is based off of uh off of hedonistic behavior when really it's just storytelling. At one point, so again, if you are attacking, or if not attacking, I don't want to characterize it like that. If you are criticizing the culture itself, I'm with you on that. If you're criticizing the storytelling of the culture and its success, I can't agree with you on that because that's what it is. It's telling a story.
Yeah, well, let me wrap up what I'm gonna say on the conversation by just going back to what the comedian was saying. They showed up to the show overly cool and thinking they're this grandiose being when they're just a human being like everybody else. And then the
If you're
last
gonna
part he said,
him,
hold on,
him
my second point is just, when he talks about I don't see people who think these guys are cool. Now, obviously, we can know why I think they're cool, but I'm just saying I do agree with him that we shouldn't think the most obnoxious people of our society that make a lot of money off of, terrorizing the youth with their crazy ideologies. I don't think we should think those people are cool. I think we're the only community that does it to even the extent that we do, that puts the worst of our people on the big screen and says, be like them.
I disagree. I listen to other genres of music and every last one of them has negative connotations that come from within their communities
Oh,
that
for sure.
are. So what are we talking about?
But my whole point, if we
Not
just
the only
take
community that
10,
does that.
if we take 10 random rap songs, like we just go, I don't know how we would do it. Like maybe, let's just, I guess we'll do a thought experiment. If we had every rap song that ever existed, right? And they were all on Spotify, we could press random. I'm assuming they have the button for random on Spotify. And just the first 10 that random happened to play, we had all the lyrics up at the same time. And then we did it for country, then we did it for every other genre. I don't think that any of the genres are going to come close to hip hop in that way.
Listen, are we talking about hip hop as a whole? We talking about gangster rap because you can match up gangster rap with outlaw.
I'm so convinced about what
for song.
I'm so convinced about what I'm saying. I don't think it even would matter. Now, obviously, if we make the genre more specific within hip hop, my point will be proven even to a further extent. But I'm saying if we just leave it just generic, Will Smith included. We put Will Smith in there. We put the Beastie Boys in there. We put Hip Hop Harry that my kids like to listen to on a little show for kids. We're still gonna have 10 songs because that makes up such a small percentage of rap that we don't even listen to, for the most part. What did Kanye say? I just use those guys. I use those guys. We don't play that backpack rap stuff. And so my point is saying that I'm convinced that even if we were to just do it random and leave all the genres in there, nothing compared to hip hop as far as just straight out talking about the base forms of human existence, reproduction, to put it in a non-graphic sense, crass materialism, a complete disregard for human life, a complete disregard for the women of your community. No genre on earth would stand even close to hip hop in that regard. If we did it at random, if we had them all the songs that ever existed on random, and we just let it pick, hip hop would destroy the other ones all put together.
No genre on earth comes close to hip hop in terms of success and being consumed.
Because again, when you're talking about the base forms of humanity, unfortunately, all of us can relate to that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying the whole time. It's relatable. It's successful.
But it's not cool, as the comedian was saying, to walk around like that, especially after your show's over. You're just supposed to be human now.
No, it is.
Sorry, it's like a cop. You ever dealt with a cop? You ever dealt with a cop when you're trying to have a regular conversation and he's still acting like a cop? Like, dude, you already know I'm not guilty. Why can't you talk to me like a normal person still?
No, I don't talk to police.
What you mean? What?
Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
Next video.
I'm trying to tell you. No, hold on. No. Hold on. Yo,
We
and
knew Freshly wasn't letting this ride. Freshly was not gonna
you
let
know
this
what's funny
ride,
about
man.
that? Enos was ready to do it too. You ain't Enos. You supposed to be an objective listener. You out here saying, "Yup, that man said next video." No,
No, I was gonna go with Saint Bro stuff, and then we was gonna go ahead, but say your piece, Saint Bro stuff, and then
Oh man, that's hilarious.
all right.
Man, I don't know, man. It's a great debate between you guys. Y'all said something earlier, and I know, like, when I do go into, because y'all talking about the consumers, I know I do go into like different neighborhoods, especially while roofing. I'm talking about $3, $4, $5, $6, $700,000 homes, and you got white kids pulling up on each other like, "What's up, gang? What's up, twin?" I'm like, "What?" But they're consuming this, or most of these guys, when you're looking on YouTube, they're like, "Oh, 4K Trey," and I'm just like, "Man, this is some white kid on here." Probably, and they're the ones consuming the music. I mean, I don't know, man. But that's all I really got, man.
I want to ask you this, Saint Bro. Do you
It's
think
not
they
just
would
black folk.
that white fan base if they was seen at a comedy club having a good time? You
You
think
said
white?
what now?
Am I coming out clear?
No,
Sounded.
Yeah, you good. You good.
Yeah, I said if the white fan base see these gangster rappers having a good time at a comedy club, you think they would lose that fan base?
Nah. I don't know, man. Something for some of it's 50-50
White,
because some of
people like, I don't listen to him no more. He's not gangster.
yeah, it might. Yeah, for sure. That's a possibility. Like, man,
Okay.
oh man, I thought he was gonna smack me in my face when I pulled up on him. You know what I'm saying, or something crazy. I'd say I'd use Nardo Wick in that situation. Where his homeboy Dope Fiend, the dude, and he was just trying to take a picture. And Nardo Wick felt like that was a little over the top. I don't know if that's because it was on camera or not. So yeah, I'd say you're probably right. They'd probably be cool with them just being a chill, like, oh man, such and such pretty chill, man, and that's about it.
Yeah, but I think a lot of you have some good points. Like I said, I think it might be black entertainment. Some of our actors, our comedians sometimes stay in character. Some of them don't. But you think about other genres like Marilyn Manson and rock and roll, you see him in interviews, he's acting like a regular person. He turns a lot of these things off. His persona in the music, he turns it off when he's conducting himself in interviews or is out in public, So yeah, I
Never
think that's
watched
probably
Marilyn Manson.
a problem we have in black culture all together. All right, so let's let's go ahead and
No,
I guess we
bro. It's not a problem we have with black culture. It's a consumer relationship.
Let's just agree to disagree, man.
I'm just saying we're not gonna just get off and be like, it's a problem with black culture.
Now I
Man,
will say this:
this
it'd be
is
nice
supply
if
and
you put
demand.
on the
that's
screen.
black entertainment. Black entertainment.
This I want to say this in light of what Freshly's been doing this whole show. I'm a big believer in this particular quote. It's better to debate an issue without settling it than to settle an issue without debating it. So I do want to say he's an embodiment of that.
I ain't going out without a fight.
Man, hey, that's what's the name, Wilder? I'm gonna die on my shield. Go out on my
Yeah.
shield.
Got rid of his trainer after that.
And still got beat up the next one. It's not just
Right. It says those fearless recklessness people mimic fearless competence, and young women aren't good at distinguishing between the two.
Let's get into it.
Let's talk about it.
I've been waiting my whole life for this topic.
Interesting segue. All right.
Shout out.
All right. Oh, do I need to play the audio with that? I got the audio too. Let's start with Saint Broseph. Put it back on. I could actually be able to.
What's the question?
On the spot.
If you don't, if you want to pass Just say
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah. I pass it because I'm like, is there a question or do I agree with it or what do you
It's a
ask?
true false type of thing. What are we doing?
Just say pass if you want to pass, so we don't have this lull in the show.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
Enos just asked for what's Enos as a moderator. What's the question? You just read it.
I'm popping it off.
Okay.
go ahead,
Oh.
Vulcan.
So yeah, those fearless recklessness people mimic fearless competence, and young women aren't good at distinguishing between the two. So this right here is a quote from Dr. Jordan Peterson that my life was a living embodiment of this quote. I personified this quote because so many times growing up, moved around a lot to different places. I lived in the bad areas, I lived in the good areas at different points in time, depending upon who I was living with at different point in time in different cities. And one thing I can say is for some odd reason, the girls always thought the guys, like what the white comedian was saying earlier about the bravado and the I'm not cool, they always assumed that guy was the best fighter. And so you're in a situation where they can't tell the difference between the two guys. So if you got a guy who's calm, I would call it maybe a quiet confidence, or maybe a sigma male, another way maybe you're saying it, versus the alpha type male, they can't tell the difference. One guy looks confident, one guy doesn't, and they would go the way of the guy who was fearless recklessness. It wasn't true competence. He didn't really know what was around the corner. He couldn't discern that, but it came across courageous, and it came across as a guy who didn't have any fear, but he really was just reckless. And so for me, this quote is so important because in our community, I think above all other communities, we struggle with this the most. And our ladies are just every single woman I've talked to, I'll say 99% of I've talked to at events, whatever, I don't even talk to romantically necessarily, but just talk to in general, has said they went through their bad boy phase. And it's not 100% because of this, but this makes up a significant part of the reason why ladies go for the bad boys. That's my 2 cents. Anybody agree, disagree?
Hold on for a minute, y'all. Hold on for one quick second. I want to play this video right quick.
I talked about this with Bus to see if I was way off on the wrong track, is that those reckless, fearless people mimic real fearless competence. And young women aren't good at distinguishing between the two. And so they get sucked in by the sort of psychopathic recklessness because they think it's fearless competence. Right. And then, of course, the guys who are doing that, they'll prey on that because they're trying to ape competence. But what the women are really after in their heart of hearts, they might be out for an adventure too.
All right.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of the point that's why I made the distinction between saying it wasn't 100% the quote, because I was going to say they don't want to be bored. He said they want adventure, which is kind of the same thing. So there's an element the women just don't want to be bored, and that reckless guy is being more spontaneous, but because he's not competent enough to see what's on the other end, he's going to do things that's going to put him in bad situations because he's not seeing around the corner. He doesn't know what's going to happen next. His ability to project and extrapolate is on par with the competent guy that's you don't have the quote up there anymore, but the competent guy. So that's one of the biggest things that plagues our community because all the ladies go through that bad boy phase. I had to beat up countless bad boys.
Hey, you sound like one of them rappers.
Because they thought
being celebrated for the most debased behavior in our community.
Talk about it.
But as guys can attest to on here, I know Enos for sure saw this happen where I would be lecturing the guys that I would have to put my hands on. I'm saying, why did you make me have to do this to you?
They didn't. You chose to.
No. They put their hands on me.
You could have walked away.
No, one time my ankle was messed up really bad.
I think same bro.
How'd you get home after you beat him up?
This young Thundercat wanted to climb the social hierarchy, and he chose me because I'm a reasonably calm person who doesn't try to hurt anybody.
How'd you get home with that bum ankle
He
after you beat him?
He must be the weak one. I'm gonna attack him. And
Hey,
so
did
I'm
you?
like, I tell you, don't you know I could delete you? I can delete you.
Did you make him carry you home after that with your bum ankle?
That's crazy.
Now he limped all the way home. He limped all the way.
Yeah,
The
he
same way
limped
you
all
played
the
that
way home.
tournament with your bum.
You could
The same
have
way you
limped
played
all the way
that
home
tournament with your
before
bum.
or after the fight.
Hey, he
Hey,
was
listen,
himself like
listen.
Cam Newton.
I'm gonna tell you right now, violence is respected in this community. You are the problem, Vulcan. Now, hey, now you could make a reasonably successful rap song about that, and you would have to wear that demeanor everywhere you went. Niggas gonna try you.
Mhm.
I got a murder move. I got a murder move quote going through my head right now. A lot of these niggas dying.
Oh, man.
This man right here.
Hey,
But yeah.
I feel like I heard somebody say something similar about another topic. They said when they talk about what women say, like all guys are the same, and what he said was no, the bad guys just started saying what the guys with good intentions say. That's it. They just mimic what they say.
What's an example of that? Would you say?
Like if I just be like what's a good example? Me saying I don't know. I can't think of something right now. I could just say hey, I'm a good guy. I want to take you out, have a good time, get to know you. But the let's say quote unquote the bad guys like I'm trying to smash tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's really what he want to do, but he's gonna say, oh yeah, it's just want to take you out and have a good time, and we're saying the same thing.
But don't both guys want to do that?
Yes, but what I'm saying is one guy. What I'm saying is this guy might want it as quick as possible. The other guy might just like, hey man, how if it when
you don't think
when
both
it
guys want it as
happens?
quick as possible? I saw that show.
Yeah, for sure, for sure,
Because you
for sure,
haven't
for sure.
really made a distinction yet. I know you said there was a distinction, but I haven't really heard it yet because everything seems to apply on both sides so far.
Yeah. I mean that because that was a bad example. I you got to give me some time with that one. But I'm just saying this for sure. It for sure happens though.
Yeah. Well, back on the quote, the fearless reckless. Unfortunately, I just want to take it a step further. It's not only that it's hard for women to tell the difference, between the two or distinguish between the two. You see a lot of men. It's hard for them to distinguish what true competence is. They tend to praise the reckless guys, especially in our culture. We tend to give a lot of praise to the guys that's not thinking, that's not being strategic. And in a lot of I guess you could say street activities. You hear what I'm saying? So a lot of times those guys get more of praise and more. They become more popular amongst not only with the men and the women. So that's what I want to say on that topic. Can you hear me, Bob?
We did have a friend of ours that said I don't want y'all in certain situations because I need people that don't think.
Dang.
Shout out to my guy.
He needed some crash dummies.
Yeah.
Don't be no crash dummy.
That's crazy. Call in my guy. He might be listening. Call in.
If your man only hang out with you because you want to crash out, that's not your friend.
Oh man.
He said
that ain't your man's.
You don't need people to think. But we could digress.
Going to Enos's point, I do agree that it's not just women, but men as well. They tend to fall victim to that. I remember a story where, some of the guys and Nick, I don't know if he's still listening, but he may remember this, where we were on the bus and I don't know if he was a part. I can't remember if he was actually there for this or not, but I don't think he actually was. But some of the guys who like to smoke and had tattoos already or whatever it was, in high school, they wanted to do this thing where we all like box because they just knew they had the most hands. And so I remember there was some girls in particular was like, man, he's gonna beat you up. And I'm trying to figure out why do I think this guy's gonna beat me up? I'm the most athletic person on the bus, so it's not because of that. I don't speak gangster. I don't talk gangster. I don't act gangster. Never have. but they were really believing like this guy's gonna beat you up. And so whenever we all got the gloves and did it, I beat everybody up. And I was like, why would y'all assume? Oh, no. Hey, Enos, tell the story of old boy in the you gotta tell the story.
Enos, don't tell the story. Don't tell the story.
Hey, one of these rap dudes, man.
He's glorifying this stuff, man. That's what I'm saying. He proved my point. He proved my point.
Go get you a deal already.
How is he glorifying it? I'm curious how he's glorifying it.
But hey, listen. This man said, Enos, tell him the story. This man got the biggest smile on his face. I was the most athletic one on the bus. I kept wondering why they thought. Listen, you are faulting people for identifying things the way almost all of us identify things with our senses. Oh, that guy looks the part. I'm going to assume until I can prove not that he is what he portrays himself to be. Same thing with you. He seems timid, seems meek. I don't know that he's not timid or meek until he does what?
No, but
shows violence.
No, they're using very shallow markers of true physical prowess and intellectual.
Yes.
You know, that's my whole thing.
They're not using the philosophical. So what you're saying is you want young people to have the wisdom of old people.
Of Solomon.
Listen, I agree with you. I can't. I didn't have the problems that you had in the same way that you had them. I've always been a large individual. Now, what I did deal with is continuously being identified as the large individual who was soft enough to be the one to take out. Like, that's the one I'm gonna get. He laughed too much. He joke around too much. He's intelligent. He's well spoken. I'm gonna punch him in his mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be a hero.
Intelligence and weakness. Oh, so say you got something to say?
Let me ask you, Vulcan. Did you take their girls afterwards? Did the girls like you more after you beat them up? Because then you beat.
I ain't getting no. Not one girl off that.
Hey, they probably said, he's so violent.
He's still a lame.
Lame. Hey, they say he's still lame. Hey, you know why? Because people don't actually care what they think. They care what other people think.
But,
How unfortunate for you.
So are you gonna tell the story about what happened in the weight room that one time?
God. No, I refuse to allow Ito to tell his story. We're not gonna hype this up. You're about to ask Eno to tell us some exploits of violence.
He just said, "Hey, brag on me."
Brag on me. Tell us what time I had to inflict violence on somebody. Tell them.
My fire.
Y'all guys
in the chat. Who want
to y'all the kind of guys hit the $50,000 job. If everybody makes $25,000 around y'all, that's the kind of guys y'all are right there.
Tell the title is violence. I don't respect violence.
All right, in the chat, who want to hear the story? Who want to hear the story in the chat?
If it was a gangster dude like T.I.,
we want to hear it.
Yo,
raise your hands.
King Von. If you were King Von, we'd want to hear it.
Let's take a group vote. Who wants to hear the story? Let's take a group vote.
Let's just move on.
I've already heard.
Let's just move on to the next video.
The moment's gone. The moment's passed. Tell them about the time I had to use violence to prove that I was fearlessly competent.
I really was tough.
I just want to be seen as a man.
All right, one has to go. All of their work and contributions. All right. Fresh, you can pop it off. Yeah, Dr. Umar.
Jackson, whatever his name is, Jackson. He's trash. Terrible.
That's how you go. That's how you do
it. Listen, I'm gonna leave it at that. He didn't make any actual contributions to the community. And it turns out that even though he sold massively, he wasn't what he portrayed himself to be. He was a fake rapper. We don't believe you. You need more people.
Will the women agree with you? Because the women love them.
Oh, I don't care about that.
You said our community. The women, the black women are part of our community. They like them. They bought this book.
Yeah, they like, but listen, women love to be
They like a
complimented.
little too much.
Yeah, they love to be. Yo,
Talk about
okay,
it.
sir. Okay. Don DeMarco, you slacking. He knows. You supposed to drop a Don DeMarco on that.
Oh man, I'm off. Bluetooth went out.
Hey yo.
Listen.
I say I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna say Jax too. I'm gonna say Jax. Jax, if I had to put him in a box, I put him in the blue pill box.
I think all of us gonna pick Jax. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Nah, don't leave the conversation. You don't know.
No, what I'm gonna say. I mean, well, I'm trying to keep the show lively. So if we all agree we would choose Jax, let's just move him out the way and pick out the three.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be a tough
Yeah, I
one.
like that. Charleston. Bye.
You gotta explain why. You gotta explain why.
Hey, I picked Umar.
Oh yeah. Nah. Because I'd say I wouldn't pick Umar because me and Umar had a conversation today, and he said at least he's for his people, man. You know what I'm saying? I guess
Umar gotta go.
I actually donated. I donated to the school. I donated $25.
I didn't know you was anyway.
10 years.
So you can say donated, but I can't tell my story.
No, you can tell your story. Tell your own violent story. Don't rope Migos into that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Out of Umar,
Gas yourself up.
Charleston White, and Kevin Samuels. I'm gonna have to go with Umar. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's bringing the college in that school. He's holding that.
Okay, we're going Umar next. I think we're all going Umar except for Saints. So now we got to pick out the two, man. We got Charles, we got Kevin.
This is tough. This is
Kevin Samuels gotta go. Kevin Samuels gotta go.
Ooh.
Kevin Samuels, while he was speaking the truth, he has less actual success. Like he has less actual things done. Charleston White, for all of his controversy, he actually has like accolades and things that he's accomplished under his belt for the community.
Kevin Samuels has saved marriages.
That's important.
Who said that?
Women say that. Women talk about them saving marriages.
Kevin Samuels ain't never got nobody out of jail. Kevin Samuels he don't got no community centers. Kevin Samuels just been.
If we're saying that a Kevin Samuels and Charleston White, okay, let's get a show of hands. I mean, sorry, not show of hands. Who picks Charleston White of us?
To leave?
To leave. Okay, so we got Enos going. Charleston White leaves.
No.
Oh yeah. Okay, we got one right here. Kevin Samuels got me out of my marriage jail. Hold up, baby.
Talk about it.
I'm looking at this. Let me find out. Let me find out. That better not be what I think it is. Oh man.
Yo.
I'm not gonna lie. This was a tough one, y'all.
That's tough. I hate to
if
do
I'm gonna
it,
go out of these two dudes, man, I'm gonna have to say, I think Kevin got taken out too early, man. I'm gonna have to go Kevin on this one, man. I know. Sorry, Kevin should stay. Nah. I'm going. I mean, Kevin's got to go, man.
Yeah.
Now, this is why I'm saying.
It says all contributions. All contributions.
It's tough, but this is why I'm gonna have to go Charleston. Charleston's the only one I know with his particular message, not this other stuff we talked about, but specifically gangsterism and hip hop stuff in streets. It's just him, at least originally.
Oh, that's
his style.
Originally,
with his style.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's actually, in my opinion, currently he's the only one who's actually taking action out here for his cause,
pulling cards on live television.
I think
Kevin Samuels, you got other people that's doing Kevin Samuels' work. They probably not as good as Kevin Samuels, but there's other people that You can learn
That's the
from it doing
thing.
it.
There's other
Yeah,
guys who
that's
is
a
Kevin
good
Samuel
point.
light. There's
Hey,
Kevin Samuel
Nobody like
Samuel.
Charleston. There's nobody like Charleston.
I think Dr. Umar would consider himself having the same message, but he ain't out here. He ain't got no. He ain't got
Message.
skin in the game like he ain't got skin in the game like Charleston. Charleston out here getting threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Hold on,
got
real quick.
Mr.
I'll
Mr.
say that,
Pippen.
but
Mr.
let me
Watts,
ask
who
you a
we tripping
question.
on, Mr. Watts?
But let me ask you a question. I feel like the reason why I let Charleston White go, right? The reason why I said I would have been let Charleston White go, right, is because the same thing with Titty Boy, aka 2 Chainz. I can't tell my mom I'm listening to a guy named Titty Boy at the age I was. I couldn't have Charleston White on a loudspeaker in my folks listening. Like, who do you listen to? What's going on? That's why I had to get him out of there. I probably would have picked, but it would have been between Umar and Kevin for me. But
yeah, but Charleston.
You could have had Kevin Samuels playing on the loudspeaker. He was a wild boy.
Oh, I wouldn't have picked him last though. I probably would have said Umar. I mean, they both controversial.
Now, can anybody say why we picked? We know why we did the Mr. Jackson guy when we picked him first. Why do we pick Umar second? Just so we can kind of go back for anybody, the audience to kind of hear.
What they say, Saints speaking facts, man. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, why you acting like this? Why you doing this, man? Why you doing this, brother? Why you doing this, man? Why you going back?
I picked Umar because he's bringing astrology to his school. That's why I picked him. You gotta go. If he would have said he was bringing STEM, it would have been hard to choose between these guys. But since he chose astrology over STEM, he gotta go.
I picked Umar because Umar said he ain't using no white people to build his school. Then we find he using white people to build his school, and somehow his school still ain't built.
It makes sense.
This school's built.
CPT, man. CPT.
Now with these good white folks on the job.
We got a comment, y'all.
Umar just need to let black men be happy and date white.
I beg your pardon.
Speaking of that, man, another segue into another. Hold on, y'all.
What are we doing here?
About to play another. Let's move on.
Y'all read the comment right there?
Facts.
What is that?
I agree.
What did it say?
If Umar let white women in the school would have been finished already.
Hey, so let me ask you. So is Umar not going to let white kids go there?
Oh. I think he gets to pick who gets to go to his school, I think.
Okay. That's interesting.
And he even said the teachers can't wear weave. They got to have natural hairstyles, all that.
Oh, that school ain't coming out. That school ain't. It's over. It's over.
Ain't that many black women without weave in their hair to get that off the ground?
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. I'd like to tackle this first. We don't need black men. Asian persuasion says we take them.
I just want to point this out. I don't think it's Asian women specifically. I think it's others.
Okay, yeah. Others. We can say that.
I think it's other. I think that picture is just representative of others.
I'm gonna let y'all go first, unless you want me to go first.
Sure, go ahead and go first, Mr. Vulcan.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, when I see this right here, you know, this is. I mean, I've had this conversation numerous times within the last year about. Women, especially black women, saying, "I don't need a man." And the reality is, when you ask them the question, who's going to treat a man better, the one that needs him or the one who wants him?
Preach.
The reality is, you know, like everything else in life, you treat things that need, like your job. You treat your job a lot better. You treat a lot of other stuff because you don't need other stuff. You need your job. You're gonna do what you got to do. So I've had to share with ladies and women. I try to tell black women this, understanding this thing too, is that black men are the second most attractive men in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when they
First
go,
being who?
huh?
First being who?
White men.
All white men?
Oh my, here you go.
I mean, they got the numbers in America.
Yes,
so,
George
I mean,
Costanza. Yes.
Hey, George. Hey, first of all, don't disrespect George Costanza like that. George Costanza gets. He has some baddies on that show. Don't get it twisted.
No, Kramer was getting him, but he was 6 foot something. He was doing his thing. But yeah. So because one of the things is that black men are the second most attractive men in the world, but black women weigh 190 pounds almost. So that kind of eliminates them from most other men because they're bigger than men.
Keep going.
And men like people to be big. Men like women to be smaller than them, generally speaking, and women like men to be bigger than them, generally speaking.
Keep going.
So in this situation right here, when in this picture right here, saying we don't need black men, and they're like, "We'll take them." Black women got to realize when you're saying you don't need black men, you're pretty much ostracizing yourself from the romantic community, at least on a committed level. I'm not saying that men won't use your body, but are they going to drop on one knee? That's
not an issue.
And so I know people are going to say, well, I see my girl married. What percentage is that?
Those are anomalies, outliers. Those are those exception, not the rule. Just so y'all know. Because for every one homegirl that y'all know that like that, I bet you there's 10 that fit the rule.
Well, we got a question right here. I'm curious of the panel's opinion. If you imagine both women in the picture being the same complexion, who's more attractive? Well, I'll start off and say this: even with different complexions,
Mr. Watt, you don't think we in trouble enough?
Huh?
You don't think we in trouble enough, Mr. Watts? You don't think we stirred up enough trouble? You want to add that on top of the pile?
Yeah, I know, right? So I would say this: I find the black woman more attractive, to be honest with y'all.
Yeah, that's what I.
Regardless of complexion, I think she's got a smaller head. She got a smaller head. Teeth. Yeah, she has a more petite head. Mm-hmm. You can see her collarbones a lot easier.
Yeah, I was like looking at that.
She has a lot of hair. Now she has shorter hair. It may be a tougher battle if she was like had short hair. But she has a very robust hair. Mm-hmm. So she's very feminine. She's very beautiful. I would say black
is nice.
What's y'all's thoughts?
I agree. Black women all day.
No, that's not what they asked, Enos.
Yeah.
If they were the same complexion, he said, I still would go with if they look exactly like that. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if the Asian lady was black, I would think that's probably weave.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be real.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Indian have family.
Oh,
yeah, the same complexion. And I'm gonna agree with Vulcan. I'm gonna agree with the rest of the panel. I'm gonna go also this: if the young African American lady was Asian complected or lighter complected as the Asian woman, as light complected as the Asian woman is what I meant to say. She'd still be more attractive to me, just based on her features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, petite head. I mean, a smaller head is considered to be more feminine. A small neck.
Face too flat.
Huh?
Asian lady face too flat.
Asian hate.
Asian hate. Yeah, hey, this passed the law with that. What's going on, man? We go backwards.
You know what?
Yeah, really, I got Asian friends. I'm not racist.
Oh my God! Fight back.
Look, I have an Asian girlfriend.
Now, which one has a lower body count?
Oh my God! Let's not forget.
Oh my God, sir!
Saint Joseph signing off.
I'm gonna sip my tea.
Hey, it'd be safer for you to tell that story he was wanting you to tell now.
No.
That's safer than what he's doing out here.
That get him on our side. Oh man.
I bet you. I'm gonna tell you right now. The Asian lady has a higher body count.
Nah,
Definitely.
Saint.
Yes, sir.
Hey, come on, Saint. What do you think about that, Saint? Come on, man.
You know I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm not gonna answer it.
Oh, don't do me like that. Say, don't leave me hanging out here like that, brother.
Hey, man. You know, yeah, man. The Asian lady, man. She got a higher body count. Man.
Oh,
She
come
does
on.
have a higher body count. If she's Asian American, her views on sex and what power it holds are much more lax than this
See,
than
this way,
African American.
this for fresh to get too pro black man on the show, man. Come on, stop the cap, man. These black women putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers out here in these streets. Man.
Oh my!
My man, fresh pandering right now.
That lady putting out.
Oh, I'm just saying other women's.
You got Wilt Chamberlain versus Yao Ming right here. Chill.
Black women value sex, at least out loud, more than European and Asian cultures.
Man, them white
They don't
ham on that Asian lady, man.
But this is what I'm saying though. Traditional Asian households, yes, but American Asian households who have lost some of their traditionalism, they don't see it the same.
But hold on, I thought black men are getting Asian because they're more traditional.
I don't know that.
Again, they're more traditional in the guise of a wife, like how they carry themselves. But just because your body count is high doesn't mean everyone needs to know your body count is high. There's a whole community of is it Mormons? I think it is Mormons who are doing Mormons, Catholics who are outwardly what's the word I'm looking for? Who are outwardly I don't want to say virgins, but somebody help me with the word I'm looking for. I got a whole bunch of intelligent black men on this.
A long time because you're pandering right now. That's why it's taking
Chase.
a long time.
I'm not pandering. I'm saying chase. Yes, they're outwardly chased,
Okay.
but behind closed doors, they doing all types of wild stuff. They doing all types of wild stuff. In a lot of scenarios, black women are the exact opposite. Black women are hypersexualized. They hypersexualize themselves, but they not giving it up at the rate that they look like they're giving it up.
If you go up the rectum, they're still technically a virgin.
Wow. Okay,
whoa! I didn't.
Let's
use it. That's why he's saying it. That's the logic
my ears.
Say that again fresh before we move on.
The logic that he just used is the reason why they do that. It's called soaking.
My God.
He said, "My God." It is.
No, I'm just
I didn't make it up.
Yeah, I just learned something. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's called soaking. There's predominant white.
We get it.
Girls. I'm just saying.
Let's digress.
You got girls on the internet, black girls on the internet, shaking hind parts who are not giving it up nearly as often as these girls we're talking about.
All right, yeah. Next video. Let's digress. Next video.
Hey, black women, they don't believe it.
Toxic expectation women have of men, expecting him to relate to feelings the way a woman does. Men have a completely different relationship to feelings than women. They don't trust feelings. They trust facts. It's not how men operate. For a man, it's more about what he values, what he stands for, what facts he trusts. So instead of asking a man how he feels about something, ask him what he thinks. You can learn a lot more about a man if you ask what he thinks rather than what he feels, because he can relate to that word, thinks. Most toxic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another good video.
Who wants to deal with this one first?
Hey, I ain't never had a female ask me that, because you got to train them up the way you want them to go, like they're a child.
Why see? Right off the bat, out the gate.
Never, ever.
Yeah, so on this one right here, I mean, I've had this conversation many times. People used to ask me, well, "How do you feel about this?" I'm like, "How do I feel, or how do I think?" Because part of me beginning to try to reason through something is I'm gonna start to set up a filter to get rid of my biases, and my feelings are just replete with biases because they're not really grounded in anything that's scalable or objective. It's just my instinctual reaction to whatever stimuli is affecting me. So yeah, I mean, Hoodie, did you hear the video?
No, I didn't. I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably catch up in a few. I'm gonna hear y'all thoughts.
I can play it again. Let's play it one more time for the.
You just would have said no. You didn't play the video already, but all right.
Oh, I didn't hear him. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. So yeah, so I'm gonna say this. Yeah, that's a good video. That's a lot of times, you know. I mean, background noise. I don't know.
Are you gonna play the video again or no?
Yeah, I thought y'all said. All right, yeah, I'm playing it right now. Somebody got background noise.
Hey, it's a question up, but I guess you could play that first if you want to.
New question.
Mr. Watt said, "Why you playing that video?" Within that training mindset that Saint was talking about, do you cut her off from her other married friends?
Oh.
Man, most of these females ain't got married friends, man. What we talking about here? I'm just saying.
If she black.
Wow.
Yeah, most of them.
Black women, they on y'all.
Let's keep it a buck.
Who hurt you?
Yeah, who hurt you? Why y'all only
like this? Unhand me.
All right, y'all. Here we go.
Most toxic expectation women have of men, expecting him to relate to feelings the way a woman does. Men have a completely different relationship to feelings than women. They don't trust feelings. They trust facts. It's not how men operate. For a man, it's more about what he values, what he stands for, what facts he trusts. So instead of asking a man how he feels about something, ask him what he thinks. You can learn a lot more about a man if you ask what he thinks rather than what he feels, because he can relate to that word, thinks.
Yes, sir.
I will say this also though, especially like situations where a female asks me what I think and I tell them, they go like, just say situation, right? She's telling me about a friend. I tell her what I think, and then she starts defending that friend. I was thinking, weren't you just talking smack about that girl? Why now are you defending her? Because I said, like, you know, it's kind of crazy, man. But hey, it is what it is, man. She's no longer around. But you said what, man? That's hilarious.
What you said, Fresh? What do you hear?
I said, you shorten the roster up based off of that?
Hey, man. Among other things, I'm just saying. That's just saying that she's no longer around. But anyways, though, what y'all got? Got a rule with the iron fist, Fresley.
Nobody got anything? I'll cook if y'all ain't got nothing. But
I mean, I joined in after y'all started talking.
All day I've been fighting y'all. I think I'm gonna keep that theme up. I'm gonna say this lady don't know what the hell she's talking about, and I'm gonna say her statement is true about reasonable men, but it ain't true about all men.
Okay.
We just talking about a whole culture of men who don't know who they are. They have a problem recognizing confidence.
Now, let me say this while he's saying I'm gonna say this part. The thing is that I will have to agree with Freshly on this. A lot of women say, James, you think that men are like logical that way, but they're really not. A lot of these men out here are just like the females.
I'm gonna say the men on drugs, maybe, but other men you guys are talking about, but no, absolutely, we are actually logical creatures, and we want to think with our minds and not with our emotions, because our emotions would lead us to do. The world would be, I'm gonna say, a shit show if men actually led with their emotions too. You know, I mean, it kind of already is a little bit in a sense, but you know, even men without power doing it, I mean, it'd be pretty crazy. So
let me ask this question real quick. What are we defining as a man? What are we calling a man? Is it just a male?
Here it goes. We're back in a political debate right now. We're gonna get canceled, y'all.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm doing.
Man is somebody who self-identifies as a man. It's 2024.
Don't cook me like that, bro. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I guarantee you, there's a good portion of men who are in prison based off of reacting off their emotions, just like a female would. He looked at me wrong. He stepped on my shoe. He said something I ain't like. I had to wild out on him. I crashed out on him. Men are not. We have more capacity for logical thinking and reasoning than females naturally, but that don't mean every man is going around here fulfilling or maximizing that capacity. It's a bunch of dudes out here acting off of emotion. Bunch of them.
What I've always said, well, not what I try to refine conversations about gender and reason or logic. I've said it this way, because especially in the black community, black women are at least more enrolled than black men. They're getting more formal education, which teaches you critical thinking skills. So how I look at it primarily is like this: if you were to give questions about logic and reason on a sheet of paper to both black women and black men, I think that black women would outscore black men as far as knowledge. I think that men in general just esteem logic more than women do.
I would agree with that. I agree with that. That we value logic more than emotion. And I've fought that fight for years. Actually, I haven't fought it because I just don't care that much. But I've gone for years, and Vulcan, you can attest to this, where women will tell me
what I can attest to is you can talk about your fights, but I can't talk about mine. But go ahead.
I ain't talked about one fight yet.
You just said you've been fighting for it.
I've been fighting my whole life.
You just said that.
Look at this man. Listen. I've been combating. I've been battling. I've been. Come on, man. This dude right here. Listen.
Woe
hey,
is me.
Just talk, you can go and tell Vulcan's violent story, man.
Y'all boys on that Antoine Fisher, huh? It's my time.
I'm still here. I'm still strong.
I'm still standing.
Oh my god.
Hey, listen. I agree with that statement. And I agree with that statement conceptually, but I'm just leave it there. I agree with her statement conceptually. I agree with what she's trying to say. I don't think she phrased it as well as she could have.
She didn't phrase it logically for you?
Not logically enough. Not logically enough. Because if you ask me, listen, even if you ask me what I feel, I'm just going to translate that because I'm going to tell you what I think.
Oh no, don't know what I feel. I don't really give it.
But see, this is my issue with doing that, because obviously all of us are faced with the same situation all the time. My issue is that what if they really want to know how you feel about it?
They will have to ask me again. They would have to communicate that to me.
So it's like blink twice it's how I feel. If you want to know how I feel, blink twice. Blink once if you want to know what I think.
But here's the thing: I'm going off of my experience when women ask me what I think, they really want to know what I feel. Because when I tell them what I think, they be like, "Well, no, what do you like?" They want me to give them emotions. I'm like, "Oh, I don't. I understand. I'm emotionally intelligent, actually, very much so. But because I like Vulcan to a filter, I just don't value emotion, so I don't use it as much. It's a tool I have in my toolbox. I just don't use it as much because I don't think it's an effective tool.
Well, let me say this. I think it's valuable, but just for different things. Like somebody asked
It's
me how I
especially
feel. Like for instance, something happens and he goes, "Well, how do you feel about that?" My feeling may be the same as hers, but my intellect kicks in and goes, "James, but that's not rational though. That feeling is unwarranted. It's unwarranted. That the feeling is unwarranted." I go, "Man, yeah, it is unwarranted." I still genuinely feel that way, but I'm like, it's unwarranted. I realize it's unwarranted. There's no good reason to feel that way. What happened was the right thing to happen. I just don't like the fact that it had to happen.
Now, why didn't you use that filter when you beat those young men up on the streets?
For no reason.
Right, for no reason.
They thought it was sweet.
They thought I was sweet, and you know what? I felt the way about that.
All right. Let's digress.
Hey, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something real spicy, real quick. This is part of women's problem in today's society.
Okay.
Is they want men to feel about them the way they feel about themselves. That's why you when they ask a woman what she brings to the table, she'll describe a man to you. She'll describe what she wants from a man. I got my own car. I make my own money. Like, oh, so what do you want from a man? What do you want for a man to bring to the table? All the same stuff. So you just describe the same person. But if you ask a man what he wants,
they just want you to pay for it.
Look, I also want to go back when the lady holding the sign says we don't need men. Then you're a man. I don't need you because I don't want you, man. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead. But
well, I'm just saying, if you ask the consumer what he wants, then you better be able to pander to that community. That's like you saying, listen, I got this for sale, and I'm gonna package it, I'm gonna build it, I'm gonna design it how I want, and then I want you, the consumer, to like it the way I like it, instead of liking what you like. Like the consumer is like, I don't like that. I want this, and then you telling the consumer like, that's dumb. You're sexist. You just don't like black women. Like, wait a minute. You just asked me what I wanted. I told you what I wanted. So if you don't, it's a weird breakdown of communication that we have, where women who are intelligent as all get out don't respect the laws of supply and demand, which is why as a supplier they losing.
Mm-hmm. More comments for the audience. It says, does it matter? Doesn't it matter what logical level the man is? You're asking him emotional questions. Mr. Watts also said, but if it's a woman generally asking Fresh why, would he tell her if he has interest in sleeping with her? That's a question for Fresh.
Yes. I'm gonna tell her regardless. I don't sugarcoat it. And I'm gonna toot my own horn right now. I'm intelligent. I'm funny. I'm tall. I'm handsome. I don't need to trick a woman into sleeping with her. So if she asks me what I feel about it, I'm gonna tell her. Without hesitation either.
Mr. Wall said that's cap! Exclamation point.
Hey,
to
listen.
The highest degree.
I'm telling you right now. Listen, there's plenty of women out there who gonna tell you that I have a problem, that I don't sugarcoat stuff, that I don't tell. Like I tell the truth sometimes to my own detriment. They tell me like, you don't have no emotions, like you don't have a heart because you talk to me like you asked me the question, I answered. I just recently learned how to communicate things in different ways because it was causing me long-term problems in my life. Before that, and you can listen, ask any woman that I've dealt with, really in any capacity, if I'm being 100% honest, and that's from my mother all the way down to women I've dated. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing to sleep with a woman. If you wasn't gonna sleep with me before, because what I do know about women is 9 times out of 10 they already chose if they was gonna sleep with you or not before we even had a conversation. If you wasn't already gonna sleep with me, then my answer to this question, whether I sugarcoat it or not, it ain't gonna change it.
Yeah.
A vote. I'll take the vote. That don't make y'all. Who? Hey, some of y'all know me though.
Yeah,
Some of y'all.
Fresh
I
is the
thought
same.
that guy knew you.
Fresh is the same. All right, what y'all think about this, fellas?
For 5 years. When I got out of prison in 2003, I paid child support from that day until just February of last year when I lost my job.
Only because they garnished your wages.
Absolutely, that's what they do. And I actually asked my public defender, "Where's the proof? I've yet to see proof that the child's mine."
Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh God.
his father.
Oh man. 5 years in prison. Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. This is why. This is why I did what I did.
But this is nothing I made up. The lab did
You
it.
made it all up.
No, I did not.
Well, those results
I
apparently
don't know
are made
any
up.
of those people on that form.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
This is clearly the most shocking
Very much.
news we've ever gotten in this courtroom.
Oh my God. She should be convicted of some crime.
No, I should not. I didn't.
That is fraud.
Mr. Manser, Miss Sear, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You know who his father is.
See.
Yes, I talk to him still.
You cannot stand there and really suggest that you cannot comprehend why this man would not have any type of ill feeling, frustration, or regret as it relates to anything involving you. 5 years in prison. And then I say, do you know who your son's father is? And you say, yes, I'm still in touch with him. That is a really huge pill to swallow. Dylan?
And then when I went to prison for 5 years.
Yo, ain't the red pill. There-
Yo, I'm surprised that blew dive on her. That's crazy.
Man, what's up? What you got, Hoodie Atlanta? What you got, man? This is tough, man. What you got?
5 years. Oh my God, man. You know how many he could have had, like a couple kids in 5 years, you know? He missed out on a lot. I believe she should go to jail, at least serve at least a year so she can get a taste of what that's like. That's not it ain't fair. It's never gonna be fair, you know, of course, how men are in this world. But man, couldn't wish that on the worst man, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough.
Mind blowing.
That's mind blowing for real.
Yeah.
Vulcan, did you get a chance to watch the video?
Huh?
You saw it? Okay, all right. What you got, bro?
Very, very sad, man.
That's one of them situations. Like I always tell females straight up, like we getting a test. I don't care.
Play it.
I don't care what you say, you know. And maybe because I don't know, that's just crazy to me to not even, and I think that deters women that have that type of mindset. I'll never get caught like that, you know. And I look at it too from a situation like, not only will I know that's my child, but guess what? I won't have to worry about any domestic violence issues when you get mad at me and be like, that's why he ain't yours anyway. Oh, she just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, that just keeps a lot of stuff down when it comes to like just get it out the way, man. It's not that serious. If it's
I
yours,
think in the video she gave him a test. He said the test was fake.
Why would you take a test from the chick and not he's stupid. That's the
love of his life.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess what he's saying, he probably trusted it, and then, you know.
Man, hey, look, man, that's what happens when you hold them women on
and
like that.
And I don't get blood tip to see. I just wait till he's born and I'm gone. If he don't look like me.
All she had to do was step out one time, and she could have been faithful for her whole entire situation after that. But it just takes one time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, just go ahead and get that test and get it over. You can be mad. Well, I'm glad.
That's foul. That Cassie bar is foul. Fresh, you got some fresh.
What you say? You mad, nigga? Well, I'm
Listen.
glad, nigga.
Hey, that's ill will for y'all. Go ahead and look it up. Not
Yeah.
neither.
Yeah.
Ill will from the glove. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. All that child support that man was paying, he didn't use none of that to get a test. He didn't use all the money he paid to his lawyer to demand a paternity test. That's crazy, man. Like no, I just don't understand it. I
Question
would
for
have
the
if I'd asked my lawyer where's the proof, and I still would have ended up in jail. He would have been fired immediately. What you mean? How I ended up in jail? They don't have any proof that it's my child.
Yeah.
question for the chat for the Vulcans. Oh well, for my Volks. If that's your son, what would the panel advise him?
If that was your son, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Like, if I was the real dad, or if I was the guy in the courtroom?
If the man in the courtroom was your son, what would you tell him? What would your advice to him be?
What would you do if your son was at home? No.
Get a test. Get a DNA
What's
test.
What's in that cup, Vulcan?
Apple juice.
I mean, Vulcan a little loose out here, ain't he? Lying on the lawn, bedroom floor, but he's hungry.
Oh, if the courtroom dude is your son. Oh,
that's still not saying it's too.
Get a DNA test, or if you ever have a kid. I mean, that's all you can tell him.
yeah. He wouldn't. My son wouldn't have been in that situation. What are you doing?
Or if the courtroom shawty was your daughter running game. Oh, that was your
She
daughter.
ain't my daughter no more.
Really?
Yeah, that's a wrap.
I would definitely advise my daughter not to do that. I mean, if she found out like you're playing with men in a way that could cost you your life.
That's what I would tell her. I don't know about not being my daughter, but I'm like, listen, if that was my son, he and I would be plotting on a way to get rid of you.
Hey, yo.
To get you up out of here.
Do you still be a father to the child at that point?
No, I'm out. See ya. I was a grown man in that courtroom.
Hey, I'm gonna be a team.
Well, he was in college, so say bro.
That's a fact.
That dude was in college.
They hit puberty. I'm a
liberated.
I go from a father to a father figure.
That was a sad.
I'm
when
about
you say,
to go have a hot boy summer.
And like he got a credit card.
You can still be a father figure to him without being a father. I'm P3. You ain't getting no more of my money. You already got enough of it. Your mother's gonna be struggling. Guess what? Yeah. When I take you out to the basketball game, I'm gonna say stuff like, "You see how these hoes do."
You can see the hurt in his face when he was like, "Man, see, this is why." He didn't finish the sentence. He was like, "This is why."
This is why I act bad.
For no reason.
This why I go to your birthday, man.
Yeah, basically.
That's why I call you on your birthday, because you ain't mine, and I knew it.
Hey, your mama told me I wasn't your daddy.
That's why when you asked me to sign you up for basketball practice, I knew you had my athleticism. I ain't sign you up.
Hey, man, that can't be my kid. Look at that kid, man. All my kids got strong necks, man.
had them weak ankles like you had mine.
Man, that kid could barely hold his head up, man. His neck weak.
Hey, question before he said, Mr. Watts. He said that's that's a boy you raised for 15 plus years. Would it be that? Yes.
No.
5 years in prison? Yes. Ain't no what happened to that man.
Still come to the family.
What happened to that man in that prison, man?
Call me daddy.
I am out of here.
In prison. He might be right about that.
Yeah, 5 years.
Hey, listen. 5 years in prison, I'm gonna have to raise him because he gonna be otherwise he gonna be an orphan messing around with me.
Oh, man, God. Mr. Watson, you recognize that's his mama's issues. No fault of the child. Oh, wow.
I don't want them responsibilities. You ain't mine.
All right, y'all.
Notice, little nigga.
What y'all think about this?
Study was done with infants where an obstacle was placed between the infant and the mother. The boy infants would try to knock over, climb, or move the obstacle, and the female infants would cry. So the boys would try to problem solve, and the girls would just vocalize their distress. We see it in infants where boys are problem solvers and girls just want to hear, they want to be heard that they are not okay right now. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. If you're on Patreon listening to this, you've heard us say over and over again that if you go to your man with anything, his first instinct is going to try to problem solve. So if you are just venting, it needs to be stated, hey babe, I'm just venting. I'm going through it and I need you to have a bitch with me. Not meaning that he's going to sit there and with you, but you can sit there and just bitch all you want and he will listen. And I don't know if you want him to brush your hair or something, say that. But boys are born with the instinct to problem solve to get to where they want to go. Study was done with
That goes to my point earlier about my girl talking about her friend, and I'm like, just stop talking to her. But she really just was venting. She didn't really want me to say nothing like that, but she didn't, she didn't say that beforehand. So, yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah, I just want to say earlier when Vulcan said he actually met a few females that said that some of the guys that they date act like females, they're not really logical. I like to challenge that. Some of the women are not the best, with thinking logically. So how could they tell somebody else is not being logical? So, yeah. So this video just shows that men got a natural ability to esteem logic. So
I mean, I like
they might not have all the terms, but they definitely can recognize it.
Yeah, I feel like she. Coming from a woman in that video, she's saying that women need to brother know that they just need to vent. It save us a lot of a lot of logic processing in our mind. Like, okay, like this makes no sense. Like, yeah, just stop talking to her, like you said, or we can listen all day. You know what I'm saying? Well, not all day. We can give them 5-10 minutes to vent, easy. But yeah. Go ahead.
This is a big topic for me because a lot of times when I've been out with different ladies and we're talking about dating and stuff like that, ladies tend to have a difficulty with the fact that men are strategists. Whether and it's kind of an interesting thing because, like, for instance, when you see the Disney movies, the ladies want their interaction with the man to not be calculated, but to be organic and free flowing. But that really goes against the nature of most men, especially the kind of men that they would like, the very competent men. They are strategists. They're problem solvers. So if they got a woman that they want, the problem is she doesn't want me like I want her yet, and I've got to get her in a certain place. I got to foster a certain environment to where she get comfortable enough with me to want what I want. Now, the thing is that requires strategy at the highest levels with human psychology and sociology. But if she were to know all that he's put into it, she may not be as enchanted with this gentleman as if it felt organic to her.
She will call him
Sorry, go ahead.
She will call him a creep.
Yeah, a classic case. I don't know if you've seen the movie Hitch with Will Smith and Eva Mendes.
Yes.
But one of the quotes. Sorry, go ahead. Somebody say something?
I was just saying, yes, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, one of the quotes from the movie is she was like, I did like you, but I didn't realize I was being handled by some professional. When she realized she was being handled by a professional, she didn't like it. She liked it when she thought she was under the illusion that it was organic and natural. So that's one of those things where, like, going back to what we're saying in this video right here, women have to understand the nature of a man is to be a strategist and solve problems. And that if you want it to be organic, you're either asking one of two things. You're asking for a lesser man who's not as good at strategy, not as good at getting what he wants, or you're asking for a man that's so good at strategy that he's able to give you the illusion that it's not a strategy when it really is a strategy. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Actually, I have a question. Some clarification. So what would you be asking? What would you be requiring women to do in this situation? Change themselves fundamentally, understand it and let it happen, or check out from that process? What do you think would be the answer to that?
I didn't hear the choices very well. You mind saying those again?
Yeah, so basically you're saying women they understand certain things a certain way, and they want it to be organic. So what you're essentially saying is none of those interactions are organic, or I should say most of them are not organic. So are you telling women that they should change fundamentally the way that they see the world, essentially, or you're saying that they should use more logic and understand that that's what comes with the territory?
Yeah.
And
Well, I think what it is, and I'm gonna try my best. And correct me if I'm not really on the path of answering your question, but I think most of it is this: in today's society, we've done so much to try to blur the lines of genders and the gender roles and gender strengths and weaknesses that a lot of women don't, and even men, but especially women, don't know the difference between a man and a woman, hormonally, aptitude wise, whatever you want to name it. We don't, a lot of women don't even realize that they don't really realize anything about the gender differences. And so because of that, what happens is they will project the kind of man that they want, and it's kind of like a mixture of the most benign masculine qualities like broad shoulders and stuff like that and height, right? And then wanting to fight and being a protector. The most benign ones, the one that are most advantageous to them, as far as arousal and stuff like that. But then when it comes to like emotionally and psychologically, he's female.
so you mean women want men that are like them?
Like them, but I mean, they wouldn't be aroused by somebody who looked like them. And some things he would need to be like, not like them for them to be aroused by him. But when it comes to like the emotional connection part, his temperament, his likes and dislikes, his aptitudes and all that kind of stuff, they'd want him to be more female. Like, for example,
women want you to be the type of woman the type of man that they would be if they were a man.
Something like that. Basically,
man, I should say.
Specifically focus on the strategy part of it. Ladies don't want a man who's strategizing to get what he wants. Whether and when I mean to get what he wants, I mean even if it's something that she wants as well. She would rather, like a lot of times on dating apps and talk to women, I want is the vibes got to be right. It's all about a vibe.
You know why, right? It's a control thing.
This is Hoodie Atlanta. I think women just rather be lied to. They don't want to know the truth.
Say no Hoodie Atlanta.
They're more concerned about keeping their mental state. They're more concerned about keeping that mental state rather than knowing what the truth is, knowing all the ins and outs. They don't want to stress. They don't want to worry. They rather just be lied to. That's it.
Well, I mean, newsflash. Most dudes put in 10,000 hours to learn about women. So I think most of us are professionals. At least 10,000, probably 50, 60, 70,000.
Women want the illusion that they made the decision. If they know you're strategizing, that they know that they were essentially essentially guided into that. That takes the control factor out of it for them.
I'm not so convinced on that part right there. So I would ask you to put more meat on that bone, but I just want to make sure I just want to make sure the distinction between what we're saying is clear if there is one. What I'm saying is that they want it to be like we both just kind of fell in love. Like just imagine this simulation in your mind. You got a man and a woman that happen to converge at a certain point and they're walking together. Then they both just fall in this pit. And this pit is called love. That to me is a woman's ideal situation. The man to know the pit.
I would be interested in a polling to that. I don't know. That may be that sounds like that sounds like the ideals from like the 60s, 70s. I don't know if that's the mentality these days.
We got some comments, y'all.
No, I absolutely agree. I agree. That's exactly how women want it.
Hoodie, you mind reading the comments?
Let's see.
It's gonna start at 11:33.
Yeah, it
Hey,
should be
one
on the screen. It's on the screen.
Let's see. If a woman is overweight or unattractive, I don't take her opinion seriously.
who said that?
That's why they hang out with gay men.
I'm out of here.
Wow.
Put bass in your voice, hoodie. What about the women who say, I like a man without a plan?
They didn't say without a plan, but I feel you on that. It's reading is is not fundamental.
Oh my
Well,
God.
there are different types of women. You know, the ones that are spontaneous rather.
Yeah, big ones and small ones.
I think the ones that are very spontaneous rather have spontaneous relationships. And then the ones that are very detail oriented rather have a man that's put together.
Preach, brother.
So I think you have to be able to discern the type of woman you're dealing with and the type of woman that you're attracting. That's one thing I would say.
Amen. Y'all trying to put all women into one bucket, and they're not all the same guys, just like we're not all the same.
You gotta be wary about how you dress because women are very. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything is very how would I say it? Everything is very superficial. If you really think about it, they're only with you for something that you have, whether you're good looking or whether you have money or whether you have a nice car, whether you dress very nice. So depending on how you dress and what nice car you have and how you speak and how good looking you are, it determines on what type of women you're going to actually attract. So you got to be very wary about what type of woman you want to attract in the first place. Do you want a spontaneous woman that just, I just show up at the club and I get a section and they show up, they have tattoos, piercings, blue hair, colored hair. You want those type of women? Or do you want a woman that's more elegant, more refined? You're still going to have problems with women regardless, but it depends on what type of woman you're trying to attract.
You say you still gonna catch some ugly fish in that net, but you can take them out.
Throw them back.
What if you just want to?
What?
So what if you just want a baddie?
Hey, guess what? The culture of baddies out here, that's exactly the reason why they thriving.
Yeah.
I just baddie. So other niggas can see I got a baddie. I think, hey, listen.
That's it.
When I hear that type of stuff, I be like, "Are you gay? Why you care more about what other niggas think about you? Do you think like that's weird to me? Like I want other nigga like, what about what you want? That's weird. Like I don't care that much about what other men think. That's weird.
This is my issue. Freshly, you said weird on a number of shows we've done. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't weird just means statistically unlikely?
No, it means out of the norm.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Statistically unlikely, not the normal. Not as likely as the norm, less than the norm. I just don't see. I mean, what's wrong with that from your perspective? That it's weird.
I didn't say it's wrong, but when I use weird, I'm using it in the sense that it's not normal to me, and that's what I mean by it. That's not normal to me. I don't
like having $1 billion, right? Like having $1 billion would be weird to you.
No,
because that's not normal to you.
There's plenty of billionaires,
but it's not normal to you.
Are you asking my opinion? Because if you're asking my opinion, then it's not weird.
Saying, you didn't say it's not normal. You said it's not normal to you. So I'm assuming you meant in your experience.
In my opinion.
Okay. I'm not always getting. I was just curious what you meant by weird.
Yeah, in my estimation, I don't. In my idea of normal, it's out of the norm.
Well, to finish out, close out today, they actually got a museum, the Book of Hov, out there in New York, dedicated to Jay-Z and his accomplishments. So,
no,
Vulcan put this in the chat. So,
I'm responding to Mr. Watt's question. Mr. Watt's comment said, "Are Puerto Rican women the most beautiful thing on the planet?"
Oh, that's
they
crazy,
up there. They up there, but I don't know
about. To me, the most beautiful thing on the planet probably would be.
It's a woman that cooked, take care of kids, and stay silent.
Oh my God.
Joking.
Immediately. We ain't even got started yet. We need female supporters.
joking. They ain't gonna see this one, man. You know. They ain't gonna see it.
I'd probably
They
say
definitely don't see it.
the Bible.
What?
Cap. He don't believe that. He capping, folks.
I need more people.
He need more people.
You said the most attractive women are the women in the Bible.
He said the most beautiful thing on planet is the Bible.
Oh, that was beautiful. Okay.
Boy, hey. I hope nobody ain't near you.
Yeah,
Like,
I get it
my
because that
guy.
is he didn't say women. He said beautiful thing. Come on, man. Like, so
The
Women
most
are
beautiful thing in the world is just like that.
yeah. So yeah, man. So that concludes our today's episode of the Vulcan Soapbox. Shout out to
Why
my
don't we show the
Vulcan.
whole thing?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm thoroughly confused right now.
Because nobody cared.
I'm like, this ain't okay. We talk about Puerto Rican women. We can go ahead.
Everybody
Yes.
on tack or what?
That's how unimportant hoes.
Yeah.
The book of Hov, the exhibit.
Puerto Rican women.
Yeah,
Yes,
I would rather
sir.
go read a Bible than go to that exhibit.
Yeah, they got the Bible museum out there in DC. I heard it's pretty good.
No, see.
Yeah. To me, the issue with this book of Hov museum is the fact that, and it just shows like how us as a community will sell out integrity for financial gain with the quickness. Like this guy made his money reinforcing the worst stereotypes about Black people. And we built a shrine for this guy.
We built it.
This guy admits that he sold drugs and did all of that kind of stuff because he wanted to get girls and wear cool clothes. Now, he didn't admit it till he was in his 50s. But he finally did admit that, yeah, I didn't have to do this at all. My mom I came from a good mom, but I wanted girls and I wanted clothes, and that's the only way to get it.
Fast money.
He took the easy way out.
He did stay in Marcy Project.
Him and the guys that he built up his.
Hold on, say Broseph. You said what? You said what? Say Broseph.
I said, how good was it? He did stay in Marcy Projects.
You want to respond to that, Vulcan?
I can only go by his words. He said that his mom did a really good job raising them, and he went to sell drugs and stuff like that because he wanted girls and clothes.
Well, I mean, never mind.
I'm going to destroy my community. I'm going to destroy my community and put poison in my community. Even Italians would even let them sell drugs in their community. That was their moral code.
Hey, nobody on this planet, no person, no street pharmaceutical rep ever sold drugs to nobody. Like
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Like the esteemed Dave Chappelle said. No, it was actually Chris Rock. Yeah, Chris Rock said that. He said, "I ain't nobody ever had to sell drugs. Drugs are something that people will come to you for."
Now somebody sell.
I can attest to that.
Actually, you have to sell them once, and then they just keep coming back because they.
No, you don't got to sell them at all.
I mean, how do you know?
Ain't nobody ever. I won't say ain't nobody ever. Most drug dealers ain't out here tricking people into taking drugs or espousing the benefits of taking drugs.
Yes,
now
other
drug users, certainly. Other drug users that now drug dealers will tell drug users to go tell your friends.
The first time always free.
Exactly. That definitely means they didn't sell it to them.
But the thing is that why do we got a shrine of this guy in the form of a museum when he got his money in the worst ways? There's so many people in the Black community we really could be celebrating and giving a museum to than giving it to Jehovah.
Man, he told us how to get our credit score right, man, on 444, man. Well, I
He told
mean,
us that way after the fact.
I'm just saying.
After our credits was already trash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his mom put the cable in his name.
Yeah. Come on, man. He should have told him. Why you tell us on the blueprint?
That wasn't his reality, man. We're not gonna get back into that though.
Drug dealers offer.
Hey, look, who likes to walk around with tattered clothes though? I know you might be the exception, Vulcan, but
Kanye West. And those like him.
Okay, yeah.
And so the point is this: if I had to choose between tattered clothes and giving poison to my neighbor, I'm gonna wear the tattered clothes.
So you wouldn't mind wearing holy shorts and stuff, just not just for example.
Huh?
I
said you wouldn't mind wearing let's just say holy shorts or something that
he's done it before. I can vouch for that.
He got you too? Oh my!
He's done it before. Listen, I will vouch for him. Man. If I might call cap on a lot of people saying what Vulcan just said, I wouldn't call cap on Vulcan for that. I was around for the baggy sweatpants phase. It was wicked.
Oh, man. Sweatpants evangelist.
Baggy sweatpants, by the way, y'all. I wasn't doing the gray sweatpants season stuff. None of that.
I was around for the hungry man era, bro.
Eating the hungry man every day till I couldn't eat him no more. But yeah, so the thing is saying again, I'm a fan of Jay-Z in a lot of ways. He made great music. I've always liked his perspective on things. He doesn't speak a whole lot. When he does speak, it's usually something that we can all benefit from. But the thing is I never seen him speak disparagingly about anybody other than Nas. And that was for a certain season in his life. So there's a lot about Jay-Z to me that we can glean from and admire. But this man made his living off of womanizing and materialism and blasphemous and idolatrous ways of thinking and doing things, selling drugs, all of that stuff. Tough guy talk, which he didn't do a lot of, but he did do it. So I mean, all that stuff is in the wrong direction.
Hey, hold on, we got some comments.
With
so
that
Mr. Watts said, "Take them off your playlist." And then he also says, "Have Atlanta read that." I don't know which one that is. There's several comments here, Mr. Watts. The next comment is the Boondocks had an episode about how everyone is against rappers until it comes to deleting them from their platform. Remember R. Kelly. This is a good point. Cat, and then Mr. Watts says someone asked him if Jay-Z is still on his playlist. Vulcan, is Jay-Z still on your playlist?
Let's get to that.
The crazy thing is that I've never really played Jay-Z. Like I really can't say. Not that he doesn't make great music. He's not an artist that I've really gravitated towards like that. So he's never been in my playlist.
Your Honor, please instruct the witness to answer the question.
The only time Jay-Z's ever been on my playlist was I was playing Renegade.
Is it still on there?
Man, I don't have a playlist. We have playlists still? I don't know if we have playlists anymore, do we?
Of course we have playlists. Don't be ridiculous.
Well, I don't have.
It's a yes. Thank you, Mr. Watts.
I don't have any apps for
yes
playlists.
Or no, yeah.
So I said I don't have any apps. Period. Music. I don't have any music apps. So no.
So you put your CDs in your car.
Disgusting. If this man, listen, if you play CDs in your car, disgusting.
I don't have any kind of music play. None of that stuff. So I wouldn't having a playlist. I mean, the only thing I play music on is YouTube.
So what's your YouTube playlist looking like?
I don't have a YouTube playlist.
Okay, so
I
you've
didn't type in
never
a song and let it play.
So you've typed in a Jay-Z song before or two?
Y'all boys are wow, man. He said Renegade.
Yeah, Renegade. Yeah.
All right, so it's still on your playlist.
What else? When somebody's
talking about when somebody's talking about talking down Eminem, I'm like, didn't he get Jay-Z on that Renegade song? That's when I bring up Renegade.
I don't think R. Kelly is on his playlist. I doubt that.
Yeah.
Well, R. Kelly be on there definitely before Jay-Z would be on there.
Oh my God! All right, good show, y'all.
Good show,
He's the king of R&B.
I don't believe nothing else this man say at this point.
All right, good
He's the
show.
king
Good.
of R, the best of both worlds. R. Kelly and Jay-Z. He act like he's not on that level.
Listen, hold on. That's one of Jay's best performances. People sleep on that. He got some of his best verses ever is on that album. That's neither here nor there. You talking about why we still glorifying a man who got his money in the worst way, and they'd be like, R. Kelly would definitely be on the playlist before Jay-Z.
Well, what R. Kelly didn't get his money the worst way.
What?
Or did he?
No,
He
I didn't
made
like
some
that
of that
R&B,
music.
thug love. I didn't like that. You know, you looking for a thug, babe. I didn't like that. Glorifying thuggery stuff. I didn't like that about R. Kelly. But other than that, I'm the world's greatest. I believe I can fly. What are we talking about?
First of all, sir,
but a number. What was his intro?
I'm
What was
that
his
little
inspiration?
bit of hope when you might believe the ropes. I'm the
Hey,
great.
all right, y'all.
there's nothing
All
wrong.
right,
You
y'all.
remind me.
Good show, y'all. Good show today. Again, for all the people that was tuning in, this is the Vulcan Soapbox. I'm glad all the comments from Mr. Watts, from Nick to I forgot Twan. Twan was in the comments, man. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said in my introduction, this is a space where we tolerate, or we have our tolerance for dissenting views. That's essential to fostering and understanding
You're
amongst
moving a
us.
lot.
Oh, okay,
Mr.
amongst
Watts,
us.
Michael Jackson cooks R. Kelly in the verses.
This guy right here. All right, so like I said earlier, I want to correct what I said earlier. Logic is about the quality of emphasis. It's not always about truth or being false. So again, Enos, everybody, would y'all close the statements? Plot-wise, yeah.
Cracking kills people. Lots of periods. No one beats R. Kelly in the verses. Leave it alone. So yeah,
Usher.
in conclusion, we
Usher
had a good
might beat him.
time today, everybody. This was I also want to let the audience know we do two different types of shows. We have a Tuesday show and a Thursday show. Tuesday show, well, I'll say a Thursday show like we had today is about having fun. It's gonna be different topics. A lot of us don't even know what the topics are necessarily going to be all the time, and we will give our honest perspective. We have a little bit of back and forth if it comes to that. We want to have fun, but we also still want to be intellectual and bring up good points. Our Tuesday show is meant to be a lot more intellectual than humorous. It's really meant to focus on helping people to uncover and mine sound reasoning in a conversation or in a lecture or in a debate, so you can identify it whenever it's happening. It's also meant to help us distinguish the sophistry from the good sound reasoning. A lot of us get caught up in the sophistry of people because people are very great orators and they're charismatic and they understand psychology and they understand sales. They understand how to convince us that their point is true without actually showing us and proving their point is true. So this show, that Tuesday show, is dedicated to that. So depending upon what day you're really tuning in, you tune in on Tuesday, prepare to put your thinking caps on because it's going to get very, very rigorous, intellectually rigorous. So on a Thursday, it's going to be fun. It's going to be less intellectually rigorous. It's going to be something that we can all enjoy and have a good time with. And we don't have to always agree on things. So I appreciate everybody tuning in and also everybody that commented and asked good questions because we need y'all to help support the show. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Please help us by supporting us, by subscriptions, and liking our material. Thank you very much.
Fresh.
Hey man, this is a Thursday show. Nobody want to hear that bullshit, Sharif.
That's a fact.
Nah, I'm just messing with y'all. Nah, I don't really have a whole bunch of closing comments, man. This is a Thursday show. I like the duality of it, man. Just to show you guys we not always super serious and over intellectual. We do have that facet to us. We have that ability, but we can also have fun, man. So tune in on both days, man. You can get some education and you get some tomfoolery. We like to do both.
Hoodie, what you got?
Hey man, I appreciate y'all, having me on the show. It's always good to, commune with some brethren, on some topics of today's world, and other people need to hear it. So, I appreciate y'all just, giving a word, a voice of the people, So I definitely will be tuned in. I will be back. You know what I'm saying? Hoodie Atlanta. Peace up.
My bad. My bad, Saint bro. So you were supposed to go next. I mean, before Hoodie. What's up,
Oh
bro?
man, it's all good, man. It's Saint Bro stuff in the building, man. Like they said, they have fun on on the Thursday shows and Tuesdays. A little bit more intellectually rigorous, so you won't see your boy. But but besides that, oh man, love the show, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. That's all I got.
Kill.
Yeah, man. All right.
Gang, gang, don't bang.